We're about to start Friday night football at the MCG. The Blues to the left of screen here against the Saints. Boy, they both want to win. And I think it's a free kick against Allen in the centre square to Elliott.
How'd you work that out?
That was contact in the head, Robbo.
So Elliott wide, and so the Blues through McLaren, the Saints I should say, through McLaren to centre half forward. Heatley had his hands on it. Manton's handball. Bradley half a kick and half a handball, didn't go anywhere. Beaumont's under the pump early, and so are the Blues. Little kick away, and opportunity now for Sexton to Franchina. And Franchina, who really made his name against St Kilda here last year, kicks the ball out wide. And it's a boundary throw-in. Dipper, welcome once again, the Blues bench.
Thanks, Bruce. Backwell, Lappin, White and Heath Colpert for the Blues.
So the boundary throw-in left forward pocket for Carlton. Elliott, he's been pretty good for the Saints. No Everett, of course. Ratton, now Brown, very, very influential midfielder. Good kick too by Brown. He's found Beaumont. Beaumont near the centre circle. The hose of the Blues looking a little different. The white stripe looks as though it's around the calf area. The kick in towards the Blues full forward area. Peckett very reliable. Good Shepherd, tremendous Shepherd. Peckett's handball sets it up for Brown. Brown out wide. Trianides caught, got the handball away. Thompson. Through goes Franchina. He's well tackled. The ball spills forward for St Kilda. But Robert Harvey not able to get there as it trickles over for a boundary throw-in. Dipper.
Ozzie Jones, Robbo, Lenny Hayes, Gavin Mitchell and Matthew Carlton. What a fantastic shepherd that was down the bottom there.
Good on you, Dip. Boundary throw-in, centre wing. Low, and Allen. Little handball out from Franchina. Harvey cut it off. It's good to Brown. Brown kicks to centre half forward. Not a good kick as it turned out. Hall going the wrong way. Sexton's taken the mark. Jason and Robbo talked about Sexton and just how important he is. I might get back to John Russo. A real good mark taken there by Hamill. Why would he be asked to play on? He didn't move off the mark.
If he attempts to play other than over his mark, he'll be called, Bruce, and he actually did move before he went back to take his kick then.
Koutafidis at centre wing, away, and then goes to full forward. Pearce has got it. Gee, it's good to see him back, isn't it, Pearce?
It certainly is. He's an exciting player, and we've really seen him light up the ground a few times in years gone past, but he's had a few injury problems. This would be great for his confidence too if he could convert this one.
Also the vision of Koutafidis, Jason. He did straighten up. There may have been the risk to just bang away, but he spotted Pearce down the ground.
He did. He had a very good look and summed up the best option, and it just happened to be a three-quarter length kick to Pearce.
Well, his first kick this season. Kicked over 50 goals in their premiership. Good view from the back. He's normally reliable. Well, it's a wasted chance from 35 metres. They don't come a lot easier than that in AFL. David Parkin, what a contrast in the coaches. David Parkin in his 473rd game as coach. It seems like he's been there forever. Tim Watson, well, he's fresh and new, isn't he?
My word, and Tim, I guess, still experiencing the highs and lows. Now, the umpire's found a free kick here. It's going to the Blues, John.
Oh, so clearly pushed in the back before the ball arrived for the marking contest, so no doubt at all that was a warranted free kick.
Hamill getting touches early, which is important for every player, I'm sure, but some players more than others need that little confidence builder. The ball right in front of the Blues goal. Thompson, Burke, Harvey. Look at the way he just changes direction. It looks as though it's on a thrupney bit or a 1 cent piece. Beautiful kick to McLaren. McLaren will go in and nearly kick a goal. Low kick, misses. Rather lazily, perhaps, there. If you want to be a bit critical there of Joey McLaren, he should have posted a goal.
That would have been one of the greatest pieces of play from one end to the other. It was a beautiful kick from Harvey to McLaren. Who
Chance for Walton. Walton tackled by Rice. He's going to be penalised. Now, John, if he gets a chance to get rid of it, which obviously he did, tackled, he's got to be penalised.
Yeah, certainly, Robbo. Certainly had an opportunity to dispose of the footy and didn't want to take it.
Rice from the back pocket gets to half-back. McKay was one of his targets. Brown, he'll be keen. Over the top of the other Brown. Ratton held up there by Young. It was interesting, that play of Harvey's to McLaren. We talked about them overcooking it this year, didn't we? That was as direct as you'll ever get. That was fantastic.
But it was very good because they'd pushed all the forwards up and he had a big space to run into, similar to what Carey does at the Kangaroos, running back towards the forward line.
And it was a long kick as well, boys.
16 degrees dip at the moment, but rug up. It's going to get down to 8. half of that Ratton, good hands actually and good thinking. Got to Christou. Christou's kick out a moment ago was dreadful. Kicks to centre wing, Hudson fly, couldn't quite peck it good. To Lowe, Lowe at centre wing, goes long. Barry Hall, Sexton caught underneath it. And, well, you're the only bloke that really says it the right way, Robbo. Big, bad Buster. You are the bloke that crowned him that.
Well, he certainly presents himself, and I can remember when I first spoke of him in that vein. Lee Matthews was sitting in the chair where Jason is, and he mentioned that the boy has got ability and he's got to concentrate on a situation like this where he must kick a goal.
50 metres out. Not much of an angle, but he's pushed it. Never really gave it a ride, and it's another behind. So we've had two really good chances and one sort of three-quarter chance, and they've all missed.
But encouraging signs for the Saints. It was just good to see them actually kick the ball long and quickly into the forward line. Just give the forwards a chance to be one out with their opponent.
A little blustery. The flag's above the main scoreboard here at the MCG, blowing quite freely towards the city end here at the MCG. McKay accepts the kick in and then goes out wide, and Peckett has given the free kick away. Not much hesitation there, was there, John, as Hamill received and kick forward for Christou. I reiterate, it's just a wonderful sight to see Ange Christou playing AFL football. The ball on centre wing. Ratton in and under as he normally is, but good play by... Oh, that's a free kick. Hudson against Hamill. Play on, advantage paid. Kick forward by Francis. Into the pocket and into the path of Lowe. Harassed by Koutafidis, ball spills for a throw-in. 2 plays won early in the first term, and it's a crunch game. It's a crunch game for both sides, and that was a fairly blatant free kick to Max Hudson. Right forward pocket for St Kilda, only a matter of 25, maybe 30 metres around from their goal. And Koutafidis and Lowe. He's a strong man, Stuart Lowe, and he knocks it down to the advantage there of Zilla. He couldn't quite break away. Trionides, now Walton. Left foot snap by that player, goes across the face. Out of bounds on the full. Free kick to Michael Sexton.
Cool night, as we said. Pretty reasonable crowd, probably about 35,000 at the moment. Sexton in the back pocket. He's got the job on Barry Hall tonight. Gets it outside the 50. Bradley with a chance. Almost run down by Harvey, but he got it to McKay. McKay's kicking to the centre. Whitnell belts it forward, but the Saints are in the right position. So St Kilda are able to comfortably out to Brown. Brown about 60 metres from goal. Neat kick to Heatley, who goes to ground. Brown's handball good. Sexton had to squeeze it up. It was actually a clever kick in the end. It was going to be smothered had he gone the full Monty. It gets to McKay. McKay gets back to Hamill, who's had a few touches. Awkward bounce for Hume. Clever to Whitnell at centre wing.
Yes, good vision, wasn't it? Good understanding. Whitnell's kick towards full forward. Silvani grabbed, didn't have the ball. And the umpire in a terrific position.
He was right over decision, but by the same token, Steve Silvani really milked that for everything it was. He felt Wakeland behind him and just thought, right, we'll get as much out of this as we can. And in fact, I think he actually bumped heads with Wakeland as he lunged his head backwards.
Well, we spoke about which position Stephen Silvani would take up at the start of this match. It's quite obvious that he's down there on the full forward line.
Jason, he'd be the best body player in the business, wouldn't he?
Well, he's one of the best, and having played at both ends, he knows what he can get away with, and he certainly did overemphasise the contact there, but he hasn't capitalised on it.
So a couple of misses to each side early in the match.
That's what Carlton would want, Robbo, is the ball to get down there. That's what Carlton would want, the ball to go down there very quickly so Silvani could put body on body. It's just a marvellous play like that.
Well, rather simple chance, 2 simple chances. The kick in, here's Ratton again. Ratton goes in, can't kick the ball. It goes out wide. Chance for Hume, he's got a chance, and he makes the most of it. He squeezed the goal out of nowhere, Darren Hume. Just what the Blues are looking for, a little bit of zip in and under, down on the forward line, and that young man there has provided it.
It certainly looked like he'd wasted the opportunity initially when he didn't handle the ball cleanly, but he was good enough to recover, and somehow amid a flood of St Kilda players just snuck a little kick in, and that'll do wonders for his confidence. Unusual, the mistake from Matthew Young. He's normally very good as a designated kick-out person.
Well, he used to sit alongside me and alongside you, didn't he, Robbo?
Yep.
For a couple of years, Tim Watson. And again, he's back here on a Friday night, but in a very different role as coach of the Saints. Hume got 3 goals against Fremantle a couple of weeks ago, and he scored the first goal of the match. Elliott, that was okay. To Harvey, who looks in good nick early. The kick to centre-half forward, Franchina. To McKay. McKay out very wide. Whitnell and Hudson, the 2 number 8s after it. Young getting in there, and his kick is going to fortuitously go to Hudson. Hudson back to Burke, who's playing in the back half. Badly injured his arm last week against the Kangaroos in Sydney. Could take no further part. He was our stat-me-up man tonight. Short to Brown at half-back. Another shorty, and this is what we talked about earlier when we set this up, this match, and Beaumont's got it. That's a terrible kick, but it's an awkward one for Elliott. Bouncing away. Well done by Hume. He's going to try it again. No, he's going to go to Pearce. Is that a free kick? It's play on. Taken by Shane Wakeland. So the Blues have wasted a chance here. Bradley. Well, that's turning back the clock. In the box seat admittedly, but jumping all over the top of Harvey. And this is within Bradley's range.
Well, it's the pressure that the forwards have got to put on and make the kicks coming out of defence errant ones.
Hume in the pocket. What's this pocket like, Jason? It's a tight position.
No, it's not a difficult pocket to kick from, that one. It's over the years I've seen a lot of goals kicked from that position, and certainly at the MCG the pockets are a little bit rounder, so you get a decent angle even when you're pretty close to the boundary line.
Let's see if Hume can kick his second. Good looking kick. You're a good judge, Jason. It's another one. Even David Neitz has kicked a few from there in the last couple of years. But that's a handy start now for the Blues.
Certainly is very good for Darren Hume too. He looks very impressive. Just jumping on the loose ball again. That was terrific vision. I thought Pearce was going to take the mark. Just didn't hang on to it. And the pressure being applied there. An indiscriminate kick out. Bradley flying over the top, which was terrific. And Hume just making space in the pocket.
Another bloke that's on our commentary team kicked a few goals from that pocket too, Kevin Bartlett. 400 games or something, a little bit more than. This is Matthew Allen. He kicks the Blues forward. They've got the mark. Certainly a mark there to Hamill by the look of it. And he's within scoring range. So the Blues off to a good start. They weren't too bad last week against the Cats in the first term. Probably didn't get the results on the scoreboard that they were looking for, but they were a rabble for the remaining 3 terms. Hamill has a chance to start this game more or less on a very positive note. He's had 2 or 3 possessions. Actually, he's had 4 kicks, coming up for his 5th kick and going for the Blues' 3rd goal. The Saints yet to register a goal. Hamill hooks the kick, hooks it badly. So chances going begging there for Carlton.
And Tony Brown has come off for St Kilda and replaced by Lenny Hayes, who young Christo's picking up.
So the kick in comes to the members' side and finds Nathan Burke. Burke still inside his defensive 50. Wonderful player, Nathan Burke. I think you mentioned, Bruce, that he's won a couple of best and fairest, and he's been 3 times All-Australian. So tremendous performance. There's a push out. Now, what's happening?
Paid for holding.
Holding?
Robbie, yes.
Goes to Allen. Away to Bradley. Bradley runs directly towards goal and kicks in that direction. Tries to find Silvani, punched away by Young. Pearce tries to manufacture a kick off the outside of his boot. It's gathered there by Burke. Nathan Burke, not much to kick to, has to go pretty well for the safety of the boundary line. Beaumont, tackled by Burke, punched away over, eventually for a throw-in on centre wing. And that's Andrew Thompson, who's been a very good player for the Saints over the past couple of seasons, being recruited from the amateurs. Stuart Lowe, Matthew Allen, 15 plays 2. Halfway through now, the first quarter. Thompson to take the ball away for the Saints. Kicks the ball directly towards centre-half forward. Judging it best at the back was Rice. Tackled by Mitchell. Sexton gets it to Koutafidis. Koutafidis over his left shoulder is good. And he finds Franchina, who is still in his defensive half at right half-back flank.
Starting all right now, the Blues. They've found a bit of rhythm. Franchina's kicked to centre wing. Hudson over the top of Whitnell, who doesn't look completely fit. Going in low, Hamill. Probably a good decision by the umpire. The Saints player had no options in the end, and it'll be a ball up. Hamill, Silvani and Pearce have all missed gettables, and I'd say that from David Parkin's point of view, they're going to be his 3 key forwards. Hume getting his 2 goals. Kerry, Wen and Harvey, our umpires tonight. So a bit of experience there. Beaumont, he's in trouble. Well, he's very lucky. He had an eternity. Franchina to Brown, his first real possession. His kick to half forward, not a good one. Too far for Whitnell, and Hudson's got hold of it at half back. It's 2-3 to 2 points. Blues lead. Hume has got both the goals in this match. Short to Young at half back.
Young down the line finds Zilla, who looks as though he's manning up at the moment on Fraser Brown. Just thought Brown looked as though he might have been stretching those groin area. We'll watch him with a bit of interest. Underneath that was Francis. Now the Saints not able to clear that congestion. Franchina, Nelson does well. Kicks it over his left shoulder. And Stuart Lowe, bucket hand. Stuart Lowe has taken the mark just behind the wing. Looking to play on. Looking to go long. Can't quite get it into his forward 50. And a good mark. Excellent mark to Barry Hall in front of Sexton. So Hall, second mark for Barry Hall. He's too far out to score. The player on the mark is about 65 metres from goal. Short kick, and it's been taken by Young. Well, we've become accustomed to Matthew Young doing the kicking in from behind, and here he is across the half-forward line, 55 metres from goal. Heatley trying to provide the lead. He goes into the pocket, kicked by Young, gathered by Trianides. Now Thompson, deep in the pocket. Thompson step shot, looks like a goal. Is that a free shot for goal? It is. Andrew Thompson gets the Saints' first goal, deep into the first term. The Blues lead. It's a very slender margin, only 7 points, 2-3 to 1-2.
And Robbo, it just looked like they've wasted another opportunity by kicking short. The couple of times they've kicked long, they've taken marks one-on-one up forward, and they've looked good. This time they tried to pinpoint one 30-metre kick into the 50-metre arc. Didn't come off, but that's very much an opportunist goal and a sorely needed one by the Saints.
Saints on the board. He's a bit of a sharpshooter, Thompson, and that's a good goal. 1-2 to 2-3. Allen went very early. Thompson got his hands on it. Nothing happened. Franchina, McKay, it won't sit. That Ratton's there. It's okay. Ratton to Nelson. Nelson's kick to half forward. Ryan front spot. Hands and knees. Awkward kick to centre wing. Here's Brown. And with him Zilla. Bad bounce. Favoured Nelson. Good to see him back in the Blues. Kicks the ball inside 50. Going early was Young. Hume stayed down. Silvani and Wakeland. Boundary throw in left forward pocket. Blues in attack.
Wakeland's in trouble. He's holding his jaw. We saw him get a knock on it earlier. When he went to ground then, he came up, waved to the bench. I think he's in a little bit of trouble.
So we'll watch him. Blues deep in attack. Whitnell and Lowe. Lowe comfortably that time. Hume went without it. Young also made a little error and then deliberately kicks the ball out of play, but it would be a very brave umpire to ping him.
Ozzie Jones on for St Kilda boys. Got his hands to the ball a couple of times last week, and good to see if he can get his hands on it tonight.
Well, Wakeland's bleeding and he's staying on.
Beaumont off and White on for the Blues, Bruce.
Gee, Harvey's clever. We know that, don't we? As he kicks the ball out wide to McLaren, who dropped it. Christou's with him. McLaren's now under pressure. Goes along the line. Not bad. Peckett runs it over. Boundary throw in. So the Saints away from the goal at least. They trail 1-2 to 2-3. There's Wakeland. Spitting blood. Hasn't been spotted. Staying on.
Allen trying to get the front posse. Succeeds. Down to McKay. Can't break away. Ratton, McKay, Christou. Lock up Joey McLaren. And the umpire will bounce on centre wing.
Steve Silvani's actually dobbing Wakeland in now. He's called out to Stewie Wen and told him that Wakeland's bleeding. Now we'll see Wakeland leave the ground under the blood rule. Steve Silvani actually called out waving his arms to draw the umpire's attention to that. So this is when Wakeland got up holding his jaw again, as Jason mentioned. So in a bit of trouble, spitting a bit of blood.
We could have a philosophical discussion about the blood rule. I spoke to Gerard Healy about it today, and well, in the real spirit of it, once you found you had blood on, you really should leave the field, really. If that's what it's all about. It's not a tactic, is it? It's actually there for a real reason.
Well, I will say this, Bruce, a couple of times the trainer's gone to wipe the blood away and he hasn't let him. I think he might believe that he has a fracture or a slight hairline fracture of the jaw because he doesn't want anyone to touch it.
Interesting observation. So Dipper's down there.
And White back onto the bench. Beaumont obviously just there for a few seconds to be reminded of maybe team plans by the coach.
Gee, they wouldn't want to lose him for the whole match if that's the case. Elliott now forced to go back.
So the umpire just waiting now for players to be in position before he restarts the action. Number 16 is Matthew Carr for the Saints, and we watch Wakelin. He does look quite concerned, doesn't he, there on the bench. And the ball up, gathered here by Hume. He's had a couple of touches, gets the ball to Brown, quickly under pressure, but kicks the ball towards half forward. Whitnell in front, nearly took the mark. Brown at ground level, back to Ratton. Tackled, Ratton's kick not bad. Silvani a chance, can't break away though from Elliott. Tries to get the hand pass to Hume. In over the top went Silvani. The umpire sees that as all fair and above board and will ball it up right in front of the Blues goal, about 40 metres out.
And Robbo, the use of Harvey is quite interesting. He's involved in a three-way go in the middle with Aussie Jones and Thompson, and the Blues are using Franchina and Bradley to tag him alternately.
We'll keep an eye on that too, Mark. Carr immediately into the action. Thompson, Ratton quickly onto him. Allen trying to get it out to Koutafidis. Harvey, well done. Can't get clear. Was probably held onto in the end. Trianides gets it out to centre wing. Some good defensive play by the Saints in close. But Christou round the body, back to half forward. Whitnell's got it. He's 70 metres from goal. He quickly gets it across to Nelson. Nelson's long bomb. Silvani with a chance. Goes and marks. Terrific mark. And plays on, left foot, it looks ugly, it might be the perfect result. Is it? It's a goal, it's a goal.
Gee, it was a good mark, wasn't it?
Oh, it certainly was. Two big fellas back for the Saints. You had both Elliott and Lowe, but for some reason they lost track of the ball.
Well, Steve actually looked as though he went very early for the mark, and it put both opponents off, I think. He went so early that they still weren't in a position to contest.
Classic case of a backman needing to be able to touch and feel his opponent. Elliott didn't have contact with Silvani. Even when he played on here, it looked like he hadn't done the job very, very well, but gee, that just floated through, didn't it?
Silvani's goal, and Elliott's on him at the moment. No Shane Wakelin, that's a key factor.
Bad matchup for the Saints.
Very much so. Nelson, one of the inclusions for the Blues at the selection table. 5 kicks already from across the half-back line. The ball up towards the half-forward line for the Blues. Peckett gathers. Ziller under pressure. Gets it to Harvey. Harvey already with about 6 possessions. Kicks the ball to half-forward, and the marker's taken down here in front of us by Carr. Carr goes towards full forward. At the back is Heatley. Punched away by Manton. Nearly gathered by Rice. Oh, opportunity there for Aussie Jones. A wide to Trianides. Well spoiled by Bradley. Little tap away. Look for Beaumont, but Allen was there to give him a chop out. Allen's kick goes back towards the middle. The mark is taken by Stuart Lowe. Lowe plays on. In towards the centre of the ground. Nathan Burke looking to play on. Just slipped at the critical stage. Then went short. Right between the two players there. Carr able to gather. Not capable there of breaking the tackle of Brown. Peckett to Burke. Burke out very wide. Ziller confronted, but he's able to get past Ratton and then kick it in towards half-forward. Good punch by Christou. Emphatic punch by Christou. Darren Humes at the bottom of the pack kicks it out wide, and Bradley is marked in front of Burke. And always Craig Bradley, his vision, he was looking to play on, maybe to get the hand pass to Brown, but he's well held up by Burke. Then eventually goes short. McKay has taken the mark. He's still in his defensive half. Andrew McKay for the Blues. Kicks down in the direction of Koutafidis. Couldn't take the mark. Peckett tackled by Koutafidis. The umpire must ball it up on centre wing.
Robbo, some news on Shane Wakelin. He's broken his jaw in 2 spots, so something like the Buckley incident as well. So bad luck for Shane.
Shocking bad luck for the Saints. Their matchups very much concerned now for Tim Watson.
I'll just say some worrying signs for St Kilda at the moment. There's a couple of sure telltale signs. The Blues' superiority around the ruck contests, as we spoke earlier, and also the Saints are still overusing the ball.
So this free kick is with Damien Ryan. He's at right half back for St Kilda. 21 plays 8. Ryan's kick gets good distance, goes all the way towards half forward. Gathered at the back by Bradley. The left foot kick by Bradley will bounce. No, it won't. It goes over on the full, so the free kick will be taken by Ziller. He goes in short. Mark is taken for the Saints by Hayes. Hayes strides away and then kicks directly towards half forward. player at the back there was Koutafidis. Couldn't take the mark. Fought on hard. Bradley's working very nicely, but dispossessed by Harvey. Brilliant work. Jones, well tackled there. Now Harvey again. How does he get through? It's just impossible to grab him. And there is a body there to grab hold of, but no one can get it. Dean Rice is back there. Mitchell. Rice goes towards the goal line. Manton's prepared to allow it to go over.
Two things we saw there from Robert Harvey, Robert. Not just how he evaded a couple of tackles, but the first time he got the ball, he got up off his knees in a split second. I've never seen someone recover so quickly.
Boundary throw in. Left forward pocket for the Saints. Thompson going for his second. Squeezes the kick, but forced through by Franchina with Ozzie Jones for a behind to St Kilda. So the St Kilda interchange players, well, they look as though they're going to be minus Shane Wakeland. Dipper's already reported that he may have a crack in his jaw. Bad luck, very much bad luck. Only round number 6, and he'll be out for a few weeks as a result of that. The kick in by Bradley has found Hume. Goes wider still to Nelson. Nelson's hand pass. Franchina shrugs the tackle. Handball Beaumont. On the end of it, Rice. Rice down the wing. Whitnell couldn't take the mark. Over the top was Hudson. At the fall of the ball was Hume. McKay there. The experienced Andrew McKay. Tried to get it to Franchina. A wild hand pass. Missed its target. As a matter of fact, it looked as though it might have been meant for a Blues player, but gathered by Francis. The rebound football. Burke is there. He's kicking towards full forward. It spills to the back. No free kick.
Push against Manton. Umpire considered that Glenn Manton's actually pushed Heatley in the course of that marking contest rather than going for the footy, Robbo.
Well, this is a boy who can convert, certainly in that 50-metre arc. Didn't look as though there was much in that either.
Probably just enough to make sure that Heatley couldn't take the mark if you have a look. I mean, a token gesture at punching the footy. It really wasn't a genuine attempt to punch, but...
and we're playing contact football.
That's true, but I think one of the keys was Manton didn't have his eyes on the ball at any stage. His focus appeared to be on the play, but if there was one person you'd like to be kicking for goal for the Saints from 45 to 50 out, it's this bloke, isn't it?
Yeah, my word. Jason Heatley. Pet distance for Jason Heatley. Beautiful kick. Has converted. Saints get their second. He is a very, very good kick for goal, Jason Heatley, and he's an important cog in the St Kilda wheel. If they're to win this game, you'd think they'd have to kick about 15 goals, and he'd have to kick 4 or 5.
And yeah, he's an interesting sort of player. Sorry, John, I was just going to say, he doesn't give the indication that he's going to kick some really big totals, but he only needs to get 6 or 7 kicks, and he's going to kick 5 or 6 goals, because that is just a beautiful kicking action, very confident from 45-degree angle, 45 metres out.
So they close it again, don't they, the Saints? 2-3 to 3-3. Interesting opening term here. The Saints have had chances, but the Blues have probably missed more options with Pierce, Silvani and Hamill. Harvey's been wonderful.
Tackle without the footy.
Yeah.
No free kick. He's had a big first quarter, Harvey. As he so often does. He's disappointed he didn't get the free there.
Bruce, if there is a trend, I'd have to say it's the umpires seem a little reluctant to pay free kicks. It seems as though they're aware of the fact that they'll get into more strife if they pay one that they shouldn't, rather than not paying one that they should.
John Russo, our fourth umpire. Allen low was just over the shoulder a bit. Burke's handball was good to Francis. Francis direct to fall forward. Heatley front spot. Sexton went back. Hall had a bit of a chance. Nelson, high tackle, no free kick. Rice, ball comes out to Carr. Carr to Francis. Terrific play, Sexton across the body. Nelson on the up was okay. Blues get out of trouble. Bowman on his wrong side. Okay though. Gets to Hamill. He's had a fair bit of the foot in the opening term. Hamill goes along the flank to half forward, getting it out of the danger zone. Ryan's handball okay. Peckett was going to use Hudson, decided not to. A bit too easy. Goes to Young at centre wing. Young looks up into the centre to Carr, who's looked pretty promising. He's got Harvey on his own. He's going to chip. No, he doesn't. He tried to, but it was cut off, and a quick kick away by Koutafidis to centre half forward. A wasted ball by Kouta. Marked by Lowe. Lowe wide to Burke. Burke at centre wing. Handball is good to Peckett on the run. Peckett about 2 kicks from goal. Peckett centering quick, and the siren has sounded. So there'll be no score here. So the Blues are a goal in front over the Saints at quarter time. Goal kickers Thompson and Heatley for the Saints. Silvani and Hume got 2 for the Blues. That man was terrific in the opening quarter. So quarter time, it's St Kilda 2-3, and they trail Carlton, who are 3-3. Still listening, which is so important. Second quarter, well, the first term was slightly flat, wasn't it? It was just one of those quarters that neither team really got a whole lot going. As we start the second quarter on Friday night footy, which team will make a move in this term? Lowe, Harvey, who was so good early. Francis, free kick, I think, to Harvey, hanging on. Gee, he's had a great start to this match. To Brown, Brown over the top. Zilla back to Brown. Brown at centre wing, pops it up to centre half forward. Heatley, Manton, Koutafides, tackle on him was okay. Heatley held up firstly by Nelson and then by Ratton, ball up at centre half forward.
And Bruce, one thing we have noticed, we said there'd be a big impact, Shane Wakeland being injured, not coming back. Obviously they don't have many options because he's left Tim Elliott down at fullback on Silvani.
So Lowe will do a lot of the ruck work, and Barry Hall when it goes forward. Allen wins it, Sexton, Ratton squeezed it out. Free kick, I think, going, is it to the Blues?
Yeah, paid to the Blues, Bruce, and paid by the umpire in the middle of the ground rather than the umpire at that end.
Hanging on against the Saints, so going to Sexton at centre half back, centre wing. Whitnell's his target, he's got him, and he's had a fair bit of it, not paid. Harvey pushes out. Francis has been reasonable, kicks the ball inside 50. Barry Hall goes to ground. Sexton kept his eye on it. Play on. Heatley, Manton, Thompson tried to fend off, couldn't get rid of Franchina. Manton courageously in, a couple of tackles go on him. Walton tries to get through. Good contest all round. Ball up 25 metres from the Saints' goal.
Well, we're going to have a look at this decision of Lance Whitnell's. One grab. No, didn't quite take it to the ground. Robert Harvey was quickly onto it and scooped the ball away from the key Carlton forward. The tap out, Sexton. Well, a couple of years ago, he wouldn't have missed that. Zilla tries to get it to Walton. He squeezed the goal. That's a terrific kick, wasn't it, by young Walton? Well, that's what this game's about so far. It's very, very tight. Goals hard to come by. Walton has squeezed one, so did Thompson. And on the other hand, Darren Hume's goal early in the match was a good one along the lines of young Ben Walton's.
Robbo, this is just amazing. He got the handball in very heavy traffic. He looked to have nowhere to go, and he's just somehow threaded a little stab kick through the gap, through the goals. And why wouldn't you be happy with the result?
Well, it's Phillip for a player that has only played a handful of games, and certainly one of the youngsters that the Saints will be looking for over the coming years. Allen gets it down, but Harvey, 10 possessions already, kicks towards half forward. Walton does well. Rice under pressure, got the football, couldn't get it out though. Nelson over the top, and with scores level early in the second term, Ozzie Jones, and look at Tony Francis and Fraser Brown. Tony Francis very much in and under as well. Now the bench, Dipper.
Yes, so we've got Lappin. Sorry, boys, I just went.
Well,
goal by Zilla there. Fantastic goal by Zilla.
A goal to St Kilda, Dip. Kick by Stephen Zilla. Again, just a crummy situation on their forward line. The free kick may have been paid to the Saints. From this ruck contest, we looked as though there was a player held a little bit high, but the play went on and Zilla, capitalising, kicked the goal.
So the Saints in front all of a sudden. Zilla in the super slow-mo, getting control of it and putting the Saints in front.
Great to see the advantage rule being well used by the umpires in that case.
4-3 to 3-3. Dipper will get you in a moment with the bench, but the Saints are goal in front. Lowe and Allen. So the Blues, it's a little bit what happened last week at Optus against Geelong, and again they go forward. Walton's looked all right. He kicks the ball to half forward. Christou, Nelson. You reckon Carlton are going to have to stand tall in a moment. Young kicks a beauty to Lowe. Got him. Lowe at about 60 metres. Just pushes to Francis. And St Kilda having a real roll on here. And Tony Francis will kick the ball from about 48 metres. This will test him.
13 possessions already in the early part of this second term for St Kilda. 3 to Carlton.
Kicked a famous goal a couple of weeks ago to win the game against the Bulldogs. Gee, that's a good kick. He's just hammered it home. test him, just took it in his stride, didn't he?
I don't know what Tim Watson said to the Saints at quarter time, but it's certainly been effective. They've come out with all guns blazing. Very good switch of play from Matthew Young. Played on immediately. Lowe made good space, chipped the ball forward to the running Francis, and he finished it off beautifully.
We're going to get to that bench in a minute, Dipper, but...
It's all right, boy. I'll give it to you now. Backwell, Lappin, White and Culpert for the Blues.
Good on you, mate.
They haven't used a player off the bench. Only White came on momentarily while Beaumont spoke to the coach during the first term. So St Kilda with 3 quick goals. Alan early. Now, why is there a decision given one way or the other there, John?
Well, it certainly did look as... I mean, Stewie Lowe's looked at Allen coming in.
Yeah.
He's watched Allen coming in, and Allen's jumped over the top. I think it was probably paid because the umpire didn't consider Stewie Lowe's prime objective was to go for the footy.
Well, Nathan Burke getting plenty of the football. Away to Francis across the half-back line. Francis, his kick in the direction of Jones. The ball spills, and good gather for the Saints. Hudgton receiving from Walton. Then Young. Young across to the middle. Burke again, kicks towards half-forward, punched away by Koutafidis. Christou leaves it on this occasion for Sexton. Eyes for the football, but just a slight fumble there by Michael Sexton. And you would think it's not the same player. He's not handling the ball with the same surety. We'll have the Saints bench now, Dip.
We certainly will, Robbo. Trying is Joey McLaren, Shane Wakelin, of course, with that broken jaw, and Gavin Mitchell.
Thanks, Dipper. So Mitchell back on the bench. Bradley gets it from Christou. Bradley's wobbly old one to centre wing. Hamill, good effort. He had 2 to beat and beat them both. They just need something here, Carlton. They have to respond quickly. They took too long against the Cats to do it. They've got to stand up here to make a real contest. Whitnell at half-forward, a long way from goal. He's kicked us full forward. Silvani came in late. Good attempt against Peckett. Peckett's handball. Burke knocked up getting touches in the first quarter, which I think surprised all of us. Little kick by Brown. When I say surprises, we just didn't notice him that much. We've noticed that bloke. Harvey, Thompson. Walton's looked terrific. Walton's little one to Barry Hall. Hall back to Walton. He's got Thompson outside. He's got Heatley. He's missed the lot. He kicks the ball to the pocket. And pretty indirect in the end after a promising build-up boundary throw-in.
I think Burke is actually playing on Darren Hume.
Yeah, he had him earlier when Hume kicked those couple. There's Tim Watson and his St Kilda coaching staff. Left forward pocket, Saints in attack.
Koutafidis out-bustled by Hall. Ratton got rid of it legally, according to the umpire, to Brown, but his kick chopped off by the opposite Brown. Tony, that is, for St Kilda.
And tears off for Carlton and Matthew Lappin on, boys.
Thanks, Dipper. The kick by Brown into the pocket. Zilla, Brown for the Blues. Ball spills now for Beaumont. Little kick being marked by Franchina. He can go down the line, close to the boundary line. The mark is taken by McKay. So the Blues being forced now to go short and use the ball a fair bit. It's right up to their half-forward line. Hamill. And how do you feel now, Dipper? Did he get you?
No, about 10 metres away.
Not quite.
Don't worry, I would have protected myself.
Yeah, good on you, Dip. David Parkin, and one of Carlton's greater players over the years, Adrian Gallagher, on the coaching staff in the background, as we see Hamill just pulling up before he hit the fence. Oh, Burke on Franchina. Rather crude. Franchina will get the free kick.
That really is dangerous. I mean, Anthony Franchina's head down and Nathan Burke coming in and bumping to the head. The players are very, very vulnerable in that position.
Brown off the ground, back well to add a bit of zip. Kicks going straight to the Saints. Mark taken by Lowe.
Half-back goes across the ground. Danger, Silvani. What a mark! Well, Carr was the target. There was always an element of danger, particularly with this man there.
Doesn't he make the things look quite spectacular?
He certainly does. I don't think he got the jump quite right. All of a sudden he was off balance, but he hung the one hand up there and managed to drag it in.
It's like Spider-Man, isn't it? It's like he's got webs. He can just hang around.
He is. And disappointed to see a senior player turning it over like that inside the 50.
Has to kick a goal here. Must go. Well, he's had 2 shots and missed them both. I know he got another one. He did kick a goal with a left foot snap. You know he's going to have a few shots for goal. He's just such a good player. But Lowe, at this stage you could see Carr and then Silvani able to cut it off. But the Blues have had Well, 4 behinds and 4 shots for goal that have all been gettable, haven't
Could
they?
all have been goals, Bruce, yep.
33 plays 22.
Harvey to himself and then goes in short. And luckily for Damien Ryan, he was able to recover his position, mark safely, and kick the ball down to Lowe. Lowe is right in front of the players' entrance out of the Great Southern Stand. And St Kilda race. His kick goes out towards Young at the back. Hume couldn't gather before it bounced away over for a boundary throw-in. A couple of the interesting matchups. I mentioned about Zilla on Brown. One wonders about Fraser Brown. Saw him come off the ground there a little while ago, replaced by Backwell. He has had just a history of leg injuries. Koutafidis up over the top. Tried to get the ball to Sexton. Still Koutafidis. Succeeds this time to Sexton. Scrounges a kick towards the half-forward line. Burke is tackled there by Backwell. Now Hume. In turn Lappin. Little slow there, Matthew Lappin, of course, playing against his old side. Gee, they're hunting in numbers now, the Saints. Brown's kicked the haul. It's a free kick against Beaumont.
Clearly pushed Barry Hall in the back.
And the big bustler takes the free kick, goes out wide. Burke, he's covered some territory, Nathan Burke. And he's marked within scoring range.
Burke's run down from the back pocket for that. He's on back here.
He's almost like a designated breaker out of the back line. As soon as they win possession, he takes off and they try to use him at every opportunity.
So having a look there at the desperate diving lunge by Nathan Burke, an absolute desperado in the St Kilda Guernsey, and he's shooting for St Kilda's 6th goal. The shot for goal is just offline, hitting the post. So the 4th behind on the scoreboard for St Kilda, 5-4 to 3-4, a 2-goal margin in favour of St Kilda.
We've seen a few shots from that side of the ground and they all seem to be pushing them right. I just wonder if the breeze is fooling the players having a shot for goal.
So Fraser Brown on the interchange a moment ago. Hume got it in from Christou to Manton. Manton at half-back. He finds Sexton. He's had a bit of the ball, but as Robbo said a couple of times, he's just not as confident as he once was. He's kicked to centre wing. Whitnell outnumbered, but made a contest. Franchina very good to Koutafidis. Needs a big game. His kick inside's a beauty to Bradley. Bradley goes to play on. Should kick a goal. Leans back, and the captain's missed. Oh, they've had their chances. I know it's like a broken record, but it's the fact. They've had their chances.
And that's the sort of fellow you would expect to break that spate of misses. Craig Bradley normally deadly accurate, particularly when he's kicking for goal, and it's not a good sign when the skipper and one of your most experienced players is missing a relatively simple shot for a player of his standard.
So within about a minute, the 2 captains score behinds. Burke hitting the post and then Bradley. Young to bring it in, and it goes wide. Gee, that was not a lot of percentage in that. Now, Hamill was out, but was the ball in? No, apparently it wasn't. It'll be a boundary throw-in at half-forward left. Blues attacking. We'll get a good view here, I think. Here's Hamill.
Exactly as you called it, Bruce. The ball has to be completely over the line, and it is.
Yeah, good call. Get some great camera angles, don't we? A moment ago, Burke's mark, and again at the other end of the ground there. Well, that was just not good enough because Lowe was able to do that without any opposition, and the 2 blue players run into one another. Or was it Hamill into Hall? Anyway, Pickett's got it. Pickett's handball to Austin Jones. Aussie's away. Quick left footer to McLaren. McLaren tried to half volley it. Jones rushed it a bit, didn't he? Christou to Rice against his old club. Rice to Lappin, a former Saint. Sexton, Lappin at half-back. Goes to half-forward. Whitnell, he timed that one pretty well. Then on the left foot, wobbly kick, not good. Hudson makes a blue. Silvani to try and pressure him. Back to Maxie Hudson. And Hudson at half-back finds Francis, who looks a rejuvenated footballer at 30 years of age.
Yes, and he does well. He spots Burke wide. Nathan Burke straightens up and kicks very nicely. Puts it on the chest of Barry Hall. 50 metres from goal. Looking maybe to move it down the ground. Goes wider still, across the half-forward line. Oh, good mark, Elliott from behind McKay. Much taller. And had the jump on Andrew McKay. Tim Elliott to shoot for goal for St Kilda.
Elliott's run off Silvani from full back.
And that's just a great example of kicking to your teammates' benefit. He realised that he had a distinct height advantage. He just sat it up in the air, and you'd back Elliott to mark that on most occasions.
There's the angle, and he's missed as well. So the boys not getting any fruits at all as far as the goals are concerned. 35 plays 23, and it was Barry Hall on Aaron Hamill. Kick-in has been marked by Manton. Still inside his defensive 50. Now goes out wide towards the wing. Allen low from behind. Still Matthew Allen. Tries to get it to Hume. Zilla does well. Lowe's caught by McKay. Good tackle. Spills to Zilla. Worked very hard in that passage of play. Out comes Heatley. Gathers beautifully. Back onto the right goes Jason Heatley. Snapshot for goal. Has missed everything. Out of bounds on the full. 12 points the margin. Not a lot in this game. Goals very few and far between. Ratton accepts the short kick. Then tries to play on. Kicks across his left shoulder basically. Got reasonable distance, out wide, gathered here by Koutafidis, working hard, and the Saints in numbers. Robert Harvey held, McKay has the football, tackled by Burke, and the umpire will be forced to ball it up. 35 plays 23, just under 9 minutes left in the first half.
Critical period here, but both teams struggling, aren't they? And the Saints 2 goals in front. Blues have got to at least stay at this deficit, you'd think, at half-time, and hopefully from their point of view they can erode the lead, and the Saints, well, they'd be looking to press on here and press home the advantage.
How do you write in a book what Nathan Burke's got? That quality, that just desperado stuff.
An amazing statistic. He's taken 8 marks already in this first half. They really are looking for him at every opportunity.
Low laid it down. Bradley didn't go far. Zilla, Hume and Bradley claim him. Play on call, good umpiring. Koutafidis, high tackle there, surely. Not paid. I thought the first tackle was high. Against the Saints, should have gone to the Blues, but not paid, and it'll be a ball up. Trinidis picks himself up. Slow start for him tonight. He's a talent, no doubt about that. Aussie Jones, he just rushed it a moment ago. He's still struggling a bit, Aussie. Kicked a great goal in Sydney last week. Had a brilliant season in '97. Francis has been terrific, but he gives that up to Koutafidis. He's getting a bit of it. Kouta belts it to half forward. Belted away by Hudson. White pushes forward to Whitnell. They're just swarming forward, the Blues. Well done by Young to put his body in. Got it across to Ryan, to Thompson. Thompson wide. They've got a chance here. Zilla's got Burke alongside of him. Decides to go long to half forward. Good kick to Heatley. Well, he's the longest kick around. He's going on quickly, and Sexton, no, couldn't quite chop it off. Harvey, it's a behind. It was the right option. Through for a point. Yes, enjoying their footy. 5-6 to 3-5.
Harvey, 14 possessions. The kick-in has been marked by Rice. Blues getting a ball up to their half-forward line, but not many chances coming from there. Rice's kick lands short. Good mark taken by Young. Culprit on the ground there, minding the mark for Matthew Young. Young's kick goes along the line, and the mark is taken down here in front of us by McLaren. McLaren goes long, puts the Blues defence under pressure. Punched away, gathered by Nelson. Umpires found a free. What was it for, John?
Push
out.
Yes.
Bradley wide to Beaumont. They've got a chance here. If they can use the ball. Hume allows the ball to bounce. Don't quite know whether that was the right decision. Yes, it was. He was advantaged in the finish. Hume, under pressure, kicks the ball to half forward. He was ducked as he kicked it.
Yeah, pushed after disposal, Robbo, so the free kick will be relayed to the 50-metre line, and it's a big penalty, that, when it's a little bit late, isn't it?
So it just didn't look that late when we saw it first hand.
Against Peckett. The kick by Lappin. Silvani's got it right on the goal line. A little push out. But Stephen, you won't kick it from that angle. You will kick it from a very, very difficult angle, you would think. No? Well, what's happening?
He should be moved. I mean,
15 metres around.
That's nowhere near lined up the centre of the goal line.
I agree with you, Chase.
That's ridiculous.
I agree with you. That is a very, very strange one. I mean, the marker's moving. He's not marking it in the same spot now.
I reckon he's conned the umpire completely, Stephen Silvani. He's going to get a goal. Well, that is unbelievable.
Well, I think exactly as Jason called it, Robbo, and you also mentioned it, the angle should have been far more acute.
Explain it to us, John.
The line of kick has to be through the mark, and the centre of the goals over Steve Silvani's head. And we see where the mark is taken here in replay. The mark is taken just in front of the goalpost there. And so that means that from that point where he's marked the footy, he has to kick over the player's mark through the centre of the goals. And that's his line of kick, which should have been almost on the angle we are on now on that replay.
Lucky break for the Blues. They needed it. He's such a competitor, isn't he? I mean, a couple of goals, he's had a couple of other chances, he's always in the action.
I just think Tim Elliott's a little uncomfortable at fullback as well.
Maybe that's Carlton's best chance at the moment in that one-on-one situation. But the Saints are making most of the running. Hayes gets it from Harvey and pushes to Trianides, who makes it at half forward. Quickly onto him, Rice, which I think was reasonable because Trianides was looking to go. Pushes back in. No, he's going to have to come back.
Yeah, blown time on Bruce, as you said, yes.
Now Trianides goes and kicks to centre half forward. Oh, they all waited for it. Trapped beautifully by Kilda, and the Blues are out of it here. This is an important patch for the Blues. Beaumont's kick cut off. Ryan's little one, fingertipper taken by Carr, who looks a very good player.
They persist in 10-metre kicks, don't they? I thought he might have even been able to pick it up and run in and have a shot for goal from just inside 50.
What about the kick coming out by Beaumont?
Not good. So Carr, who hasn't kicked a goal in AFL footy, bit of a stutter, 50 metres out, hasn't kicked it well. It's pushed to the right, it'll be a contest. Oh, terrific fly.
Good
Firstly
punch
by Lowe, and Sexton was wonderful, wasn't he? Getting over the top. Rice works to the line, Mitchell with him. Boundary throw in.
I think that's an art too, Jason, isn't it? To time the leap and the big punch by the defender.
Oh, it certainly is.
Koutafidis, I think it was, wasn't it?
Oh, was it Kuda, was it?
I think so.
Yeah,
Up and
you're
over
right.
the top, bang.
He did. He timed it beautifully. Lowe took a good sit and it looked like he was in position to take a great mark, but Koutafidis came in with perfect timing to punch it away.
Hume back to Bradley, looking to hand pass to the advantage of McKay, and Harvey in the middle of the action once again. He just keeps on working Robert Harvey, much to the pleasure, of course, of the coaching staff watching on in the great southern stand.
Robbo, Matthew Allen now playing full forward, and of course Timmy Eller's got to pick him up, and now Young's picking up Silvani.
Koutafidis, it was Ratton at the back of the pack, quickly onto his boot. Oh, good mark, Lappin. He was completely out of position. Brown gathers the hand pass, then kicks towards half forward. Silvani is marked, too far out to score, goes into the pocket, good kick. And Allen, who Dipper has mentioned, resting up on the full forward line, has taken the mark, and he's certainly within scoring range.
And to see, you've got to be honest, I mean, to see a fella like Matthew Allen lead and have clear space on Tim Allen just shows how uncomfortable he is down back. He really is a little bit all at sea.
Allen goes for goal from 30 metres. He's missed as well. So I think there'll be a few boys having goal-kicking practice during the week. Plenty of misses here.
Sorry, Robbo. Silvani now and Matthew Young as well is a big height difference, isn't it?
It just shows you that they lack options down back and they really do need to take the initiative here.
Peckett's kick in, marked by Young, away to Burke, quickly, forced to kick quickly. Now that's a free kick, is it?
Yeah,
Against
free kick
Silvani.
against Silvani, but paid for the infringement being on disposal rather than after disposal, so the ball's coming back. Steve Silvani objecting. The signal given was for a push in the back. It did look like more in the side from where I'm sitting, but I stand by that again. I still think it's in the side, yeah, not much in that.
John Harvey being spoken to quite seriously by Stephen Silvani. Stephen suggesting that he have a look on the big scoreboard. Forward go the Blues again. Brown, look at the turnover. Silvani, will he go there? Oh, the hand pass is going to be chopped off by Harvey. A little kick was probably the best ploy there, and Whitnell maybe a little panic setting in. He's disappointed, you can see there. And another chance goes begging for the Blues. The Saints lead by 6 points with 3.5 minutes left, and Lance Whitnell, he looked to do the right thing, the hand pass not quite having the penetration, and the boundary throw in taking place. Hume, Brown again, into the pocket, loping onto it, Lappin. Can he keep it in? He does. A little bit too severe, that hand pass for Brett Ratton. And the boundary umpire will throw it in once again.
And that opportunity that we just saw wasted by Carlton again came from St Kilda kicking short to a 50-50 contest. They really, if they don't have a clear play, they've got to kick long.
Whitnell's normally a smart player, isn't he? But it didn't work. Low, unopposed for a number of the boundary throw-ins tonight, and was able to belt the ball over. He's struggling, this young fellow, Whitnell, 19 years of age. What a talent he is, but he doesn't look fully fit. Saints just struggling for the moment. Koutafidis, low, Ratton, Bradley, well done, back to Ratton. Ratton's kick only as far as Ryan. So there's only a goal in this, 5-6, 4-6. Very late now in the second quarter. Ryan to Elliott, good stretch, he's got it. At centre half back, looking to go on. He looks a good young player, but he's being tested in a position tonight that he's unaccustomed to. He got around Silvani pretty easily in the end and kicks the ball very wide and finds Trianides. Centre wing. Gave a dummy, didn't work. Then has to squeeze it, not a good kick. Blues with a chance.
Well done.
Sexton's mark against Hall. Held up Sexton. Wanted to go to Franchina, decided not to. Kick towards half forward. Whitnell held on to Shorley that time against Young. Now Silvani is against Elliott in the goal square. If he can get it down there in a hurry.
As you called it, Bruce, not much doubt about that. Matthew Young clearly holding him.
Hudson getting across, Silvani playing a lone hand, Thompson, back to Burke, back to Elliott, back to Burke. Gee, they're working Silvani at the moment. Young out wide, if it stays in, it's a good chance for the Saints. Young at half back.
Young steadies and then kicks into the middle of the ground. He's found Mitchell. Mitchell looking to play on. Franchina confronts that player and forces the kick to go astray. So not bad play back towards the middle of the ground by Franchina. Leads to a Rice mark across half-back for Carlton. Cold night here in Melbourne. Pretty good conditions for footy. A little blustery. Bounce of the ball awkward, wasn't it? Oh, Ratton again feeds it out to Bradley. Bradley running to the forward 50. Goes for goal, Craig Bradley. Lovely kick just offline. Through for Bradley's second score of the night. He's kicked two behinds, the skipper. Blues needing a goal close to half-time. They trail by 5 points. Carlton led by 6 at quarter time. Justin Peckett, been a very, very reliable player for St Kilda now for quite a few games. 36 plays, 31. Down inside the last 90 seconds of the half. Gee, pinpoint accuracy again there by Peckett, finds Burke. Burke 9 marks. Coming up for possession number 19. Short one is all right. Young has run down from fullback. Gets past Brown. Kicks it out wide. Contest out here. Whitnell beaten for it by Heatley. Away to Mitchell. Mitchell running directly towards goal. Kicks it in towards the pocket. Christou will see it safely over for a throw in when it was a promising attack for St Kilda. Nothing coming of it. Mitchell a little frustrated, no one to kick to probably.
And their field kicking certainly leaves a little bit to be desired at the moment. There just doesn't seem to be a great structure to their play.
Which team are you talking about?
St Kilda. But it's a little bit both ways, isn't it?
Franchina gets it and goes wide, and he wants the line. Look, this is a harsh call, and a lot of things will change between now and the end of August, but right now I reckon we're looking at two teams that are in the bottom half of the ladder, on form at this very moment. They're both struggling, aren't they?
They certainly are. The skill level's a little bit below what we'd expect from a couple of the top sides.
And I'm sure that in the next few weeks we'll see a lot of changes, ups and downs, but at this very minute, you reckon if it was West Coast or Geelong against them, we'd have a pretty lopsided scoreboard. Koutafidis.
He's played well.
He has, to Brown. It's close. Whitnell.
Over the shoulder.
He's worked into the game a bit, hasn't he? He's provided a target. He's in the heart of the centre square. We're now very close to half-time. Maybe the last attack for the Blues. Peckett held on to. Free kick against... Mitchell, I should say. Free kick against Hamill.
You notice Whitnell, even when he went to kick the ball, there was no oomph in it. He's certainly got something wrong, I believe, with his hip.
Gee, that was crude, wasn't it? Short. Now it's Peckett. He strolls away at centre wing. Kicks the ball to half forward. Heatley. Worked underneath it by Manton. Towards the pocket. Well done by Sexton. He's had a pretty reasonable first half after a shaky start. In fact, the Blue defence has held up pretty well in the second half of this second term. Boundary throw-in. We are on half-time, and the Saints will go in with a 5-point lead. 5-6 to 4-7. Koutafidis and Lowe. Kouta giving a bit of weight and height away. So the Saints had the better of the second term, but to Carlton's credit, they were able to actually close it off late in the second quarter. It looked dangerous halfway through the second term. It looked as if the Saints led by that man might establish a 4 or 5 goal break. That did not happen. Silvani's been very, very handy, and at half-time it's 5-6 to 4 goals 7. And Bradley we saw a moment ago. So the second half, Friday night footy at the G, 36-31. Blues go to the left to start this third quarter. Lowe held his ground well. Harvey starts the second half as he had in the first half, getting a possession. Kicks the ball inside 50. Hall held on to free kick. Barry Hall, who's been handy. He and Sexton have had a pretty interesting duel.
They certainly have. In this case, the ball was coming in and Hall read a little bit better. He went front and square to the pack. Sexton dropped off looking for the one over the back. And he played that pretty cleverly. Just tapped the ball out in front. He knew he wasn't going to get clean possession. Beaumont applied the tackle and, well, this is basically how the game started. He had a shot from a similar spot. Let's see if he can do a little bit better this time.
The breeze is in his favour too, Jason. It's going right behind him.
He pushed the last one dip to the right. Let's see, as Jason said, it's almost a carbon copy. That looks a better kick. Is it going to make it? Oh, it's close. I think it's a goal. No, it was touched. The blue defence said touched. From here, it looked as if it had gone through, but we're not in the best angle. Let's have a look at that.
That's not a goal, I give up.
Oh, they've been robbed.
Certainly behind the line.
What a great angle we had there. That did look every bit a goal. Well, keep an eye on it, Robbo. If it's less than a kick at the end, Whitnell's got it. Whitnell bangs down. Here's Silvani in that one-on-one. It goes to ground. Play on call. They get back. Wonderful contest. Koutafidis tries off the ground. Bradley gets in there and they force it through for a behind. An exciting start to this second half. Controversy at one end and a real contest at the other. What's happening on that bench, Stipper?
Well, we've got Adam White, Brad Pearce, Backwell, and also Heath Colpert for the Blues.
Kick in by Peckett finds Nathan Burke. Burke in his defensive 50. Lobs it out wide, out towards the half-back flank area. Gathered by Elliott. Brown tackled, but able to get his kick away. And fortuitously, behind Dean Rice, the mark has been taken by Mitchell. Shepherd being provided. Mitchell looked to give it off at one stage, then kicked it in towards the forward pocket region. Back goes Christou. Hemmed in, got it away to Sexton. Sexton looks and then kicks with the left. Good kick too. Has found Lappin. Now Lappin can go into the middle of the ground. He looked that way and then kicked in the direction there of Whitnell. Gathered here by Brown. Got the hand pass away only as far as Young. Turnover. Young goes high. Back there, good mark. He's recovered well from that incident where he gave the free kick away to Barry Hall a moment or so ago, and Beaumont has marked it left half-back for the Blues. Lappin short, but he goes longer to a 1-on-3. The one was Hamill, at the back was Peckett. Whitnell did well, and just slipping out of the grasp there of Aaron Hamill. The ball goes over for a boundary throw-in. The Saints bench dip.
Yeah, down to 21, Ozzie Jones, Lenny Hayes and Jason Trianides, and unfortunately for Shane Wakeling, in hospital.
Yes, well documented, that injury to Shane Wakeling, happening probably in the first term in a clash between he and Stephen Silvani. Tony Francis away to Harvey, loves to run and carry, looks to keep going, duck back, then shrug the tackle. Oh, have a look at this. The footwork quite magnificent by Robert Harvey. The ball finishes with Francis across the full back line, the kick a bit high. Heatley couldn't take the mark, back goes Manton with Heatley. Gathers, gets the hand pass away. Sexton down the line, and that awkward bouncing ball for Franchina.
Just replay that for me again, will you, Robbo?
Oh, look, this is just magnificent. You wonder, just can he be tackled?
Well, I think half of it, Robbo, was brought on by the fact that he didn't have an option upfield to kick to.
Barry Hall takes it out of the air, then hooks it back right to the square. Christou at the back. McLaren, a bouncing ball, keeping their eye on it. Heatley has a second crack, goes back to Carr. Carr hooks. This is his first go in league footy. He's missed. To behind.
Another opportunity wasted. That's really one you'd expect to kick. The ball was handballed out. He had plenty of time. Looked like a regulation screw around the corner, and he just didn't strike the ball cleanly.
5-8-4-8. Christou just pops it over the top to Manton. Back to Ange. He's going to run out of room. He used Nelson. They're okay at the moment. Nelson got to squeezed up. Koutafidis in low. Good contest, but the Saints are in the right spot. Carr on his left foot. Not a bad centering kick. Hall too tall for Sexton, who just was always a bit off balance, and the strength of Hall was the factor there. Held his ground.
Very impressive, Barry Hall, tonight. He's led well, he's moved around, and he's just held a couple of strong marks. Now, again, he's at that similar sort of distance. We basically did kick a goal last time. It just crept over the line, but it was called a point. Interesting to see if he can find an extra yard on this kick.
Just about the same spot. Good kick. Terrific goal. Poetic justice. That was a bit lower and really kicked through it beautifully. And the Saints get the all-important first goal after half-time.
Well, they certainly do. I think that's something much needed for this game. It's just a clean piece of finishing. Just came from a very, very strong mark. He's given Sexton a bit of trouble tonight, Barry Hall. He went back, and that was very good, a very good connection with the ball. He timed the ball particularly well, good trajectory, and that made the distance very, very easily.
Much better kick on that occasion by Barry Hall. He's kicked 1 goal, 2. First goal of the second half to the Saints. Bradley leaves it behind. In underneath that is Francis, tackled by Ratton. And the umpire will bounce once again. Early in the third term, Brett Ratton, 15 possessions. Working industriously in the middle of the ground for the Blues. Koutafidis. McKay leaves it behind. Francis gets the hand pass to Zilla. Zilla just quickly onto his boot. Gathered by Carr. Rice confronting, but Carr shrugs the tackle. Kicks towards full forward. Punched away by Manton. Kicked by Walton. He's got another one. What a good kick again by Walton. He's had 2 of probably the hardest kicks at goal.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, Robbo. He basically kicked that in the same motion as picking the ball up. I don't know if he even took a full step or 2 to settle.
That young boy did well too, Carr, to get it down there.
Did. That's just the quickest ball to boot you've ever seen, and basically kicked a banana, snuck it in, and has he kicked 2 of the best opportune goals you've ever seen tonight.
Sensational
Well,
kick.
that was a screw punt kick, wasn't it? Off the outside of his boot, getting the flow beautifully towards goal and popping through his second.
The 2 rookies combining, Carr and Walton. As Robbo said, Carr's been good too at centre-half forward. The Blues need the next one. The Saints have got the big margin in the match so far. It's 18 points. Koutafidis, Bradley, who's been held out a bit tonight. McKay, Silvani against Elliott. He goes early, tried to take it on his chest in the end, and it'll be a ball up about 45 metres from Carlton's goal. Stephen Silvani, couple of goals in the first half, couple of misses. We've said a lot about what influence he might be able to have on this game. They really need him to kick 5 or 6. Brown, who hasn't had much of it, kicks it up high. Fisting away Allen. Again back, Lappin. Lappin's kick. Not far again, it'll be play on. Whitnell, Harvey under pressure. Good tackle, Silvani. Koutafidis, it's not going to be a goal. In fact, it's out on the full. So Kouta spraying it. Good first half to Koutafidis. 18 points the margin. Where are the Blues going to find their goals from tonight?
Very good question. Francis goes across the defensive goal. Nathan Burke running from the back pocket, kicks it out towards the wing in the area of McLaren. Christou there to apply the pressure. Ball still there, Hudson and Whitnell, but didn't Burke cover some territory? Tackled by Whitnell, leaving it behind Hudson. Too fierce there, Darren Hume. Much too fierce.
He looks in trouble too.
And Max Hudson confronted head on there. Is down. Let's hope he can get to his feet. The trainers,
the amazing thing,
staff.
Yeah, Max Hudson down, bumped by Darren Hume, and Darren Hume actually saying to the umpire that there was nothing wrong with it. Well, if he thinks there's nothing wrong with contact like that, then maybe he should have a look at it on Channel 7's replay tomorrow.
Just checking whether Max Hudson is aware of...
Does he know where he is, Robbo?
Well, he looks quite dazed, but the staff there closely attending the youngster. Gee, if he goes down, the size on the St Kilda defence will be certainly under pressure. Play goes on. Knocked away there by Allen. Back towards the centre of the ground. Thompson held maybe when he didn't have the ball.
High contact, Robbo.
A bit high, was it? Still Max Hudson in the hands of the doctor. Kick forward by Thompson. Close to the boundary line at right half forward.
Push.
And a push out. The free kick will go to Rice. at left half back for the Blues.
Max is all right, boys. You just told the doctors to go away.
4 goals, 8, Carlton. And we're well into the third term now. So nothing happening for the Blues. There's a free kick here. May go to Allen, is it?
Yes, paid for shepherding, Robbo, exactly right.
So Allen to go back. He's still in his defensive half. Goes short in the area of Brown. Good strong mark taken by Koutafidis. Looks to play on. Awkward kick. Gathered well here by Lappin. Left foot snap by Lappin. Good kick too, wasn't it? Silvani going back. Couldn't hold the mark. And it spilled out of his hands. Through for not even a rush behind, was it? Yes, it is. A rush behind of the Blues.
I've got to say, he's looked a little bit uncomfortable under the lights tonight a couple of times, Silvani. I don't know if it's the lights or if he's carrying a slight injury, but he just hasn't looked as comfortable tonight as he normally would.
Young's kick, Lowe's big fly, tempo's lifted a bit here. Through the middle, Carr, it's been good. Penetrating kick, Heatley front spot, Barry Hall, couldn't quite, back to Heatley, good tackle Mackay, Sexton, back turn, but they're still in trouble here. Thompson misses Francis. It's a hot footy all of a sudden. Mackay, it was cut off by Thompson. No free kick again. He was held up. Walton and Mitchell underneath. Francis high tackle Mackay. Free kick Tony Francis. Burrowing in. It was a really frantic passage of play there, and the Saints won the battle in the end.
He's been very, very good for St Kilda tonight. Done a lot of the hard stuff, Tony Francis.
Not much doubt about the free kick, Chase.
Gee, he'll kick this, Chase, won't he? He's only about 80 yards out. Go short and get Zilla. So Zilla inside the 50. He'll kick from about 50-51 if he does have a shot.
Testing,
Gee, big problems for the Blues, aren't they, now?
They just can't kick a goal. They kicked 3 in the first quarter, so they've kicked 1 goal in about 1.5 quarters of footy.
So Zilla, who kicked a goal in the second term, this would stretch the margin to 4. Kicks from just outside 50. He's pushed it away. It's not a good kick. Big fly came from Allen. Comes to ground. Kuda, still with Kuda. Good play. Lappin's kick. He wants the boundary line. It's getting close. Hudson, well done. Pushes inside to Ryan. Low. Tackle by Hamill. Back to Pickett. He actually dropped the ball and missed it. Hamill, a terrific tackle on him. Kuda, Whitnell, it was clever. Brown, backhander, okay. Hamill has to get in with Maxie Hudson. Pickett over the top of Hamill, no free kick, that's interesting. Ball up centre wing. White to come on for the Blues.
Bruce, all the talk in the St Kilda rooms at half-time was about mistakes. They admitted they were making too many and they needed to play with more urgency, and we're certainly seeing that now.
Hamill off the ground and White into the fray for the Blues. Looks a little frustrated, doesn't he, Aaron Hamill? Up over the top was Peckett, no free kick given. Whitnell, no, Mackay it was, trying to carry the ball in front of himself. Koutafidis, Harvey, still there for St Kilda. Peckett, close to the line, gathers. Out, was it?
Yeah, it often happens, Robbo, when the player, as Peckett did then, goes to put the ball onto his boot, and as he swings the ball to the side of his favoured foot, the ball goes out of bounds and it's blown as such. 17
points the margin in favour of St Kilda. They led by just 5 at half-time. Rice's kick towards full forward. The ball spills to the back. Elliott, indiscreet hand pass. Silvani shrugs the tackle, goes back and will kick his third. No, hooked it too far. 2 goals, 3 when the Blues could have done badly with a goal. 34 plays 50, and that tells the tale of the Blues' performance so far.
Very hard to recall a time when so many good opportunities have been wasted, and whoever capitalises and kicks 2 or 3 goals in a row can really break away.
Koutafidis is playing a good match tonight. The most competitive I think he's been for a long time. Big fly, free kick to the Saints, to Lowe against Whitnell for a push. It's a hard call on Stephen Silvani, but he's just... He's had so many chances, he's almost messing them up a bit at the moment, and at least he's winning the footy, I guess, but he's just going to have to convert, isn't he?
You'd think he could have kicked 5 or 6 by now, and it just doesn't look 100%.
Hard ball, Franchina's made a blue. Thompson, it was high, I thought. Carr, well done, hurled it up, little kick. Play on call. High ball, round the body by Walton to fall forward. Barry Hall again. He's been good, hasn't he?
Been in front, Bruce, all night. Fantastic mark.
It was a hot ball for Franchino at centre-half back, but he had control, lost it, and suddenly the Saints were in.
He's actually paid the free kick for the high tackle rather than Barry Hall's mark here. So Heatley taking the kick for the free rather than Barry Hall for the mark.
Okay, well, Barry's unlucky, I reckon.
Yeah, very unlucky, Bruce.
Well, Heatley will convert it and kick the goal, and the Saints will be away.
Just in relation to that, Bruce, the free kick does take priority in that case. The umpires are told that the free kick has to be paid, and probably the main reason for that is the fact that if in fact it was in the middle of the ground, the umpire can cancel a free kick and call advantage to the team with the advantage, whereas if the mark was awarded, they can't call advantage and allow play to continue.
Certainly is a shame for Barry Hall. He's been getting just better as the game goes on, and really taking some strong marks in packs.
Well, Jason, I think you mentioned there that Barry Hall has presented himself, hasn't he? And he's made the Blues defence really think about the circumstances up on their St Kilda forward line.
He certainly has. He's stretched Michael Sexton tonight.
So the bounce favours Allen. He gets it beautifully down to Ratton. Back to Bradley, onto his right. Kicks the ball towards full forward. Silvani knocked away by Elliott. Good frustrating tactics there by Tim Elliott. And the ball held up at half forward for the Blues, about 40 metres from their goal. 56-34, it's 22 points now. And the umpire being bowled over here, backing into Stuart Lowe. That was Peter Carey, but he was able to keep his footing, so well done.
He knocked poor Stewie over then.
Well, I can remember...
Get out of the way, umpire.
First game at... first bounce at Prince's Park one day, I was knocked out by Bernie Evans, actually out cold, so certainly happens.
Bernie
we
Evans,
paid him $50 to do it.
Yeah.
It was 100, he told me, Dipper.
Matthew Allen again doing the ruck work. Darren Hume, but taken away by Walton. Left foot kick out wide towards left half back. Franchina and Thompson. Bounces over. So Franchina not doing such a bad job in negating Andrew Thompson's effectiveness, as we see a change. Lenny Hayes on for Tony Brown. Brett Backwell preparing to come onto the ground. Thompson, very good possession gatherer for St Kilda, has had just 9 possessions. He kicked a goal early in the game. The kick goes back towards the wing. White couldn't take the mark, but chipping in is Michael Sexton, and he marks safely. Blues badly need a goal. They kicked a goal in the second term after 3 goals in the first quarter. The kick towards half forward, chance here for Bradley. Watch him mop it up. Craig Bradley goes for goal. He's missed Silvani. Is that a mark?
No.
It's not paid. It's through for a behind. And Silvani again. What's the umpire doing? Yes, he's a behind.
Actually, Robbo, we really have to talk about that one, because you see the goal umpire in replay step away from the line, so in the goal umpire's mind it's a mark. You'll see the goal umpire run away. He doesn't want anything to do with it. And
what was the decision, John? Right?
Well, I don't think it was a mark, but unfortunately the goal umpire wasn't prepared to give the point as early as he should have.
I thought maybe the third time that Stephen Silvani went for a grab at it and had gone behind the line. Robert Harvey down towards full forward. Good play again by the Saints. Giving it to the goal kicker, Jason Heatley. And he's marked about 45 metres out. Slight angle.
And this could be effectively a 2-goal turnaround as well. Interestingly enough, you would have expected Craig Bradley to finish off on the run there. I don't think he was passing it to Stephen Silvani. I think he just pulled the kick a bit. And of course the mark wasn't controlled before it crossed the goal line down the other end. Quick couple of kicks, all of a sudden we have Heatley lining up for another up here, and you'd back him in because he's one of the best kicks in the game.
Well done by Robert Harvey. 23rd possession. Still a quarter and a half of footy to go as Jason Heatley punts for goal and misses to the right-hand side. 2 goals, 1 against his name.
Robbo, Tim Watson playing his best player in his best position tonight. Harvey's been in the middle for all but about 3 minutes.
Mark Doran keeping a close watch on our newsmaker tonight, Robert Harvey. Yes, the Bradley miss was a vital one, running in from 35 metres. Silvani doing everything he possibly could. 3 behinds to Bradley tonight. He hasn't had his best night. He's had plenty of those in the past. Blues come Sexton the target. Cut off there by Ryan. Hume gets hold of it. Can't get the handball away. Harvey weaving some magic. delivers. Mitchell, he kick a goal here. He's 40 metres out, takes his time and drills it home. I reckon, well, you can't say they're home, but where are the Blues going to get 5 more goals from?
I'm not sure, but I've got to say one of the most amazing things about Robert Harvey is that he picks the ball up in congested play. He just doesn't expect to get tackled. He's that good that he knows if he sees a player right in front of him, he'll go round him anyway. And where most players would just throw it on the boot, he has a good look up, surveys the scenery, and chips the ball beautifully to a teammate.
Well, I'm sure that you'd say about 95% of players that it was arrogance, but not Robert Harvey. He just controls the game anywhere and everywhere, all over the place. Brown trying to dive in and get a much-needed centre clearance for the Blues, all to no avail. Stuart Lowe comes up with a footy. 63 plays 35, and 7.5 minutes left in the third term. The bounce, Harvey up over the top. He gets a kick away again. Thompson out wide to Jones. In turn now to Carr. Carr's kick towards half forward. Heatley couldn't take the mark. The kick came in from Hayes. Heatley and Hall. Still Barry Hall. The big bustler. Kicks it to the front of the square. They got it. 2 on 1, and Peckett used his body well. He's marked right in front and really should kick a goal here, Justin Peckett.
And this St Kilda goal will be a direct result of the sheer strength of Barry Hall. He just stood his ground, shrugged off 2 tackles, screwed the ball back just where you wanted, about 15 metres out, directly in front of goal, and Justin Peckett on the end of fantastic work from Barry Hall.
Well, he does kick in from behinds with precision, and he kicks a goal with precision. Gee, the big bustler was good there, bustling and hustling to get the kick away. Justin Peckett's body work, a goal to the Saints.
Again, the quick handball coming out from Heatley, and that's just too strong. Got his centre of gravity down low so he could use the strength in his legs and then just shrug the tackles off and screwed the ball back nicely. 2 on 1, you're always going to back the 2.
It's been a frustrating night for the Blues and for this man, Fraser Brown. So Peckett gets the goal. 5 unanswered goals for the Saints in the third term. They've made the big move. Kick by Bradley to centre half forward. Whitnell, tackle on him by Hodgson. Ryan to Zilla. Saints are really getting some form here now. Out wide. Bad bounce for Ozzie Jones. Back to Lowe. Lowe's handball okay in board. Walton pushes to Harvey, who's got a panic. He'll take them on. No, he doesn't. He just delivers and delivers beautifully. McLaren made a mess of it at half forward, then tucks it in underneath. The Blues trying to hang on. Harvey tries to weave his way through. Does get a little handball away. Hayes. Manton goes to the line. Doesn't quite find it. McLaren back to Hayes. Hayes doesn't quite get the handball away. Blues may get some respite. Good hip and shoulder coming in from Mitchell. Still the Blues struggling. Harvey over the top. Ball up 50 metres from St Kilda's goal. What a game he's played.
He's exhausted.
What price the Brownlow? 3 in a row? Well, you wouldn't want to bet against him, would you?
Shortening all the time. Fantastic hip and shoulder from Gavin Mitchell. Little fella really taking on a bigger opponent and giving him a fair serve too.
James Hurd felt that in a game out at Waverley. I think it might have been early last year.
So the Blues really struggling here at half-back. Harvey and Bradley. Little kick by White, controlled it. Whitnell, good hands. That is a clever mark.
In front of Hodgson. Hodgson suffered a heavy knock earlier in this quarter, having to get rid of it quickly. Kick forward, nearly taken here by Backwell. Damien Ryan under pressure. Koutafidis can't get past. Tried to get the handball to Hume. Tap onto the advantage of Backwell. And good speed there in the first 2 or 3 metres by Lenny Hayes. Gathers, kicks the ball back towards the wing. No mark taken. Ball spills for Thompson. Decides not to give the hand pass. Then kicks it towards the forward pocket region. Heatley couldn't take the mark. It's kicked away by Manton. Heatley may be feeling that he could have been the recipient of a free kick. Not forthcoming. 69 plays 35. It's a big margin now in favour of the Saints.
I think Jason Heatley just upset about the fact that he dropped the chest mark, Robbo.
Still in the forward pocket, right half forward flank area for St Kilda. Nelson not able to break away. Umpire calls for a bounce. big margin, isn't it? 34 points when you see that Carlton have only managed 35 so far in the game. 4.5 minutes left in this term and a whole of the last quarter, but it's been a struggle. And kicked their 4th goal in the second term, so nothing so far in this 3rd quarter. Saints go forward again. Harvey just arrogantly breaks the culprit tackle, kicks to Thompson. Thompson in the pocket will mop it up and kick it behind.
Jason, that was right in front of me. I thought to myself, he's gone this time. Fantastic.
That's just unbelievable. He's just playing on at every opportunity, hanging on the ball. He just doesn't panic. He has the complete faith in his ability to get around or get by any opponent that confronts him, and at this stage he's just doing it with consummate ease.
If I was tennis committee, I'd say he's putting on a clinic. That's the sort of thing the golden voice from the West would say right now. Have a look at that. All Australian the last 5 years. Boy, that is impressive. Bradley, right into the heart. Kilda, good mark.
He's been good tonight, Kilda.
He has. He has been probably the Blues' best. Haven't had too many since quarter time. They've only kicked 1 goal since quarter time. Rice to Lappin, but it was a bit slow getting there. Lappin, the second go. Now he's at 50. Goes to the pocket. Silvani's got it. Gee, Stevens had one of those nights, hadn't he? Good on him for marking it. I think he's looking for 50.
I think you'd love the 50, and certainly making sure the umpire's aware there was a bit of contact there.
He probably deserves it.
Yeah, well, once the marking contest is over, if he's pushed to the ground, then he should get a 50. So everybody at home can determine whether the marking contest is over when Steve Silvani gets pushed to the deck here, because the instruction given to the umpires is once that contest is over, don't touch him.
Can he kick this one? It looks good. No. Well, he's kicked 2-4. He's just had one of those evenings.
It's been an evening full of opportunities, but no real result for the amount of work he's put in.
Young running into backball. Now under pressure. Handball back to Ryan. They're going to be all right. No, Bradley's going to cut it off. 70 metres from goal. Bradley short. Kilda's got it. Now he's probably still too far out to goal. And a good effort by Koutafidis tonight. What will he do? Will he try and give it off? Whitnell's in the goal square. Kilda kicks there. Whitnell front spot low, belts it away. Elliott gets hold of it. His handball is a bit shabby. To Lowe. Lowe to Thompson.
Thompson in the right back pocket, kicks it out in the direction of Peckett. Gathered by Bradley. Little kick by Bradley's all right. Koutafidis now running. Kicks with the left. To the back of the pack, Silvani couldn't take the mark from behind Elliott and Lowe. And it's hurried over the boundary line. 70 plays 36. A 34-point margin in favour of St Kilda after the Saints led by 5 points at half-time. The Blues, the only time really that they've shown any toe was in the first quarter when they led by 6 points at quarter time. Zilla back to Elliott. Elliott into the pocket. Thompson. They look composed, don't they, the Saints? I think they're pretty confident that they can win this game. Peckett running from the full-back line, goes through the half-back line and then kicks wide in the direction of McLaren. Missed his target. Over for a boundary throw-in, centre wing. Pull a rabbit out of the hat, David Parkin.
Nothing worse when you're chasing a bloke as Brett Ratton was then, and he has a look at you and decides, well, I'm a little bit quicker, I'll have a bounce right in front of your face.
Ever happened to you?
Plenty of times.
Centre wing, Low, over the back of Allen. Back with
good job, Low.
Yeah, he has a big Stewie. Kilda gets his handball back. White, well done Zilla though. Thompson's got better as the game's going on. Little left footed to the pocket, wide. Barry, good take by Hall. Still with Barry Hall. Sexton's got him this time holding the footy.
Bit stiff, Barry.
Well, you know, you'd certainly justify the decision, Jace. He did have an opportunity to dispose of the footy, and
no argument with the decision, John. I just think he did everything possible to try and keep the ball in play on that occasion, and ended up getting punished.
Yeah, for sure.
Aussie Jones still struggling. They'd love Aussie to find some touch, wouldn't they?
Well, this is a great opportunity for him. The Saints are looking pretty comfortable at the moment. They seem to have most of the possession, and if they can just share it with Aussie a bit, it'll do them the world of good.
Low and Allen. Low front spot. Kilda again to Ratton, to Hume, who kicked a couple of early goals. Kicks towards Pearce, who's really struggled after that early shot for goal. Young on the up to Francis. Francis through the centre, high ball to centre half forward, Hall front spot. Heatley was a good fly, belted away. Onto it now was Franchina, cut off brilliantly by Francis. McKay's quick kick back. Pearce, missed it. A bad miss. Young may make him pay for it at half back.
Oh dear, is the hole that he could probably fall into, Brad Pearce, because that was a bad miss, and the ball comes back towards St Kilda's half-forward line, where Lenny Hayes is marked, kicks into the pocket, good pass, but not able to take the mark, Joey McLaren. Tackled by Beaumont, close to the line, Dean Rice, handball away to Nelson. Nelson kicks out towards the wing, another opportunity quickly. Back into the play was Pearce, left foot kick, down towards half-forward. Saints get back though, Nathan Burke able to take it over in front of Matthew Lappin for a boundary throw in, left half forward for the Blues.
Must be frustrating for St Kilda coach Tim Watson with the apparent dominance they're showing at the moment. They're still kicking short and wide as they enter the forward 50. They just have to play a longer, more direct game.
Boundary throw in, Whitnell and Allen. Thompson tackled by Ratton. Lowe underneath there, Stuart Lowe trying to move it out. Thompson does successfully. Gets it down where Hall has taken the mark. 19 minutes into the second quarter, Carlton kicked their 4th goal. It's been a long drought. On the other hand, the Saints, they've had all the answers. Looked like it could have been nearly a throw out towards White. Out to Beaumont. Beaumont taking his time, got the kick away. But again, St Kilda controlling this game. From quarter time onwards, they have had an 8-goal 7. And the Blues, on the other hand, have kicked just 1 goal 5.
7 consecutive behinds to the Blues. It's a big break. Mark Doran will have Shane Wakeland's x-rays when we return. So it's the Saints all the way here. It's 70 to 36, 10-10 to 4-12.
This bloke does it all, and whilst it hasn't been one of his better nights, you can never question his desperation and determination.
Last term, Friday night footy. Can the Blues find something? Francis, we just highlighted him, and bangs it to full forward to Heatley. The outnumbered coming across was Hamill. Heatley has a second crack. Beaumont pushes it over the line. Yes, Francis, the only bloke out there tonight wearing a St Kilda Guernsey who's played in the Premiership. That was at Collingwood in 1990. Christo, he knows what a Premiership feels like. In fact, to Hamill, 11 from that 1995 Premiership team are still going for the Blues out there this evening. 2 of them we've just seen, and they've made a bit of a mess of it. Though Cooter's been good all night. Back to Sexton from Franchina. To White. White at centre wing wanted to go on. He does now. Pushes to Ratton. As Jason said, reasonable night. Not one of his absolute best, though. To the pocket. Manton was a good stretch. Casually goes on to Bradley. Got him. Well, they had to get a flying start in the final term. And surely the captain, who's had 3 misses tonight in front of goal, will convert here.
It's amazing what a quick goal could do for Carlton. I mean, whilst they've only kicked 4 goals for the match, they're only within 6 goals down, which isn't in today's football a great margin.
Bradley, 20 metres out, kicks the goal.
First goal for nearly 3/4 of an hour, Bruce.
It's a long time, and Bradley's kicked 1-3. So it's interesting, they're going with Bradley basically in the goal square.
They haven't had many options up forward. They've tried it with Sauce. He was having one of those nights where it wasn't quite working, so it was a bit of a roll of the dice. We'll throw our veteran captain up in the square, and all of a sudden, within the first couple of minutes of the match, he's kicked a goal. You can't ask for much more than that.
Bradley, the goal kicker, and after 3 behinds, and the interchange bench for the Blues dipper.
A very frustrated Brad Pearce, Ben Nelson, Brett Backwell and Heath Coulpert.
Well, I think that's nearly the way they started. The Blues, with all their inexperienced players on the bench, they've got a goal through their oldest player, Craig Bradley, at the start of the last term. Back to Koutoufides, little hand pass, missed its target in White. Thompson dispossessed. Koutoufides has tried very hard. Ratton trying to lift his team. Kicks the ball to half forward. Going back with the flight of the ball. White might be advantaged here. No, Maxie Hutchton showing some desperation. Dives on the footy and locks it up for the Saints.
Quick goal to the Blues here really makes a big difference to this match.
Well, I think that, as Jason said, the Saints really haven't kicked right away. They've kicked 10 goals If they were, say, 15 and maybe 7 or 8 in front, you'd reckon that they were home. But it still is very much a low-scoring contest. Rice beaten for it by Harvey. Just a little bit quicker there, Robert Harvey, over the ground. McKay gathers the football between wing and right half-back. The pass is quite emphatic. And it's nearly knocked Fraser Brown over. He's forward of centre wing. Kicks the ball towards half-forward. Silvani up early. Tried to get rid of Lowe. It's a hard job to do to displace Stuart Lowe. Still Silvani. Whitnell goes back to Lappin. In turn to Brown. Brown spotted a player in the pocket. It's a good kick too. He's found Ratton deep in the right forward pocket. He can go short. Has that covered the required distance?
Just.
Only just. Darren Hume, the chance to kick his third goal. Only 3 goal kickers for the Blues, 8 goal kickers for St Kilda.
Started particularly well in this match, Darren Hume, but he went off to Boyle. That's a disappointing result. He's only kicked the ball about 25 or 30 metres, and he kicked it off 1 or 2 steps, and it just never looks good when a player has a shot for goal off 2 steps. They rarely kick through the ball, and they rarely kick the goal, Robbo.
A bit sloppy, wasn't it? Matthew Young preparing to kick it back. They really haven't converted the slim chances that they've had, the Blues. Peckett to run away from half-back. Shrugs the tackle. Kutafides could have nearly grabbed that footy. Hayes, Francis, Hutchton caught. Handball out wide. Harvey running in support. Forced to kick with the left. Gets good distance. Bit of a mongrel punt. What a great mark to Carr. 52 metres from goal. Can go out wide. Player on his own. Joey McLaren just sizes it up. Goes bang. And kicks the goal. First goal in this match to Joey McLaren. 9 goal kickers now for St Kilda. Against that, the Blues have only had 3.
Nothing better than seeing the impact of a young player on the game. Matthew Carr took a fantastic mark there. He just had the run of the ball, and he said, well, I'm going to go for this. Took it, one clean grab, looked up, used full vision, spotted Joe McLaren all on his own. He took his time, settled, a good run in, finished off.
That makes it hard, doesn't it, for David Parkin to end the Blues. A clean finishing from McLaren. Carr's been very impressive. Going very early was Allen. Handball from White to Rice, who's had a quiet one, to centre wing. Lappin beaten for it by Ryan. Ryan away. They were playing for different clubs last year, the two of them, and Mark Carr, who is growing in stature.
Well, I think that last mark must have got his confidence up. That's just good reading of the play. I mean, there's a lot of instances where you think the ball might clear the pack in front of you, and if that's the case, you've got to position yourself in front. He didn't look like he was confidently going to attack the ball, but he had himself in the right position and responded quickly enough, reacted very quickly when the ball did float over the pack. Missed a couple of goals tonight, but he and Walton have been very impressive as rookies for the Saints. That is a hook and a behind, but this is a promise of things to come, I think, from Matthew Carr. Who's on the bench for the Saints, Dipper?
We've got Gavin Mitchell, Lenny Hayes and Jason Trianidis down at 21. Of course, Shane, very hurt.
Gee, that's a terrible kick. A shocking kick from Ange. Francis. Rice did well to hold it up. It comes back. Barry spent it before he kicked it, but he has a second go and misses. That is one of the great let-offs of all time. We've just spoken about players shooting for goal off 1 or 2 steps. Ange Christou has kicked that off no steps. He has just dropped the ball and tried to pinpoint a low, firm pass up the middle and did not clear the man on the mark. Not surprisingly, Jason, he goes for distance. Cooter's the target. At the back, it's Harvey, though. He'll use it, and he does, pushing it wide. McLaren has had a quiet night, starting to get involved. 50 metres from goal.
Gee, what's the record number of possessions in a game of football? Robert Harvey still got plenty of time left to add to his already impressive total of 31. There's a mark to Walton. Well, he's kicked a couple of goals in this game, Ben Walton, from, as Jason Dunstall would describe, just half chances. Here's a real chance now to kick a goal, and he hits the post with a screw punt kick. He's given him 50 metres, I think, here for going over the mark, Robert. Yep. He's going to kick it from directly in front, and he won't have to worry about a screw kick now. So the kick that we saw just a moment ago hitting the post, and the Carlton players running over the mark, according to the umpire, has meant that Ben Walton from the goal square player on the mark is right on the goal line. He's directly in front, and he will kick a goal for St Kilda. This result is now not in doubt. We only question what the margin will be, Jason.
We certainly do. I think the most pleasing thing from a St Kilda point of view is the emergence of a couple of good young players. Matthew Carr and Ben Walton have both looked very handy players. Didn't look like he did too much wrong there, Andrew McKay, unless he originally started over the mark.
Yeah, I think that's right, Jace. I think it must have been that he started over the mark, and so he was penalised for not coming back when asked to do so. So that would have been it.
So the Saints stretching it now, 12-13 to 5-13. It's been a blue night for Carlton. They're really struggling here. Allen, but down to Aussie. Back to Peckett, who's been pretty good. Out wide, this bloke has been magnificent. It has been a pleasure to watch him. Harvey to Lowe. Gee, I reckon we've said that a couple of times over the years. Lowe at about 70 metres. He's been good to us, Stewie. Just pops it to Barry, who misses. And the Blues fight over it. And it'll be a ball up.
He's done some great work tonight, Barry. All of a sudden it looks like he's going to get an easy one, and he might have just taken... He's a little bit disappointed there.
We've got a rebel on the ground here, in the black, right on the 50-metre line. What's that? There's someone on the ground here.
It shouldn't be there. There we are.
It's a girl,
Yeah,
isn't it? Oh, this is ridiculous.
And the only good thing, Robert, was at least she kept her clothes on.
It's just silly, isn't it?
Well, look, the security people rush out under normal circumstances. Now you have... Yeah, well, there you go. That tells a story.
Well, he's seen it all, hasn't he?
She's pretty pleased with herself at the moment, but she won't be once she gets ejected and has a nice little fine to boot. She'll probably think it's not quite worth the effort in the end, Bruce.
Didn't realise how much Tony Francis looks like John Harvey until then. they look like twins, except John's a foot taller. There you go. Hall. I'm not sure what Tim said to Barry Hall at three-quarter time, but it hasn't worked. Thompson. Still with Thompson. Well, let's get our concentration back. Franchina to Hume, to Rice. Terrific tackle, running him down. But comes back to Franchina. Franchina attacks to half forward. Brown from the side almost. Burke has a second go. Burke and Brown, they're a couple of tough nuts, aren't they?
And Bruce, we saw a fantastic chase and tackle before. It came from Aussie Jones. When you're struggling for form, the one thing you can do are the team things, the hard things like chasing, tackling, smothering and talking, and that's what he did on that occasion.
Low, good comment. Allen, back to Young. Young belts it to centre wing. Front spot, Sexton. Goes to Rice.
You know what Barry Hall does? I reckon his presence is amazing on a football field. He certainly makes people around him beware that he's going to come through thumping and crunchy. St Kilda, their smaller players, now growing in stature. Tony Brown goes for goal. It's another one. 8 goals the margin in favour of St Kilda.
Well, this could develop into a real blowout if the Blues aren't careful here. I think we mentioned the same thing last week when the Bulldogs got on top of the Tigers. When the game's lost, one thing you do have to do is fight it out to the finish. You've got to show a bit of character and not let it turn into a percentage booster for the opposition. Tony Brown did some very good work there. He kept running, was involved in the play 2 or 3 times, and it deserved reward for some persistent running.
(13-13, 5-13), and unfortunately for Carlton, it's been a trend this year. Remember Essendon when they blew them away in the last quarter in round 1, and then Geelong last week really getting on top of them, and we're seeing it again here tonight. This is going to damage their percentage and damage their chances of being a contender in 1999. Lappin goes for goal. That's better, much better. Played in the Saints grand final team a couple of years ago, and tonight kicks his first late in the match, but 6-13 to 13-13.
And one thing you can do from particularly Matthew Lappin's point of view, he spent most of the night on the bench. The team's going poorly. When you come on, make the most of your chances, and who knows, if he has a good last quarter, all of a sudden he'll find himself starting next week. And you can't do much more than make the most of limited opportunities when the ball comes forward. A good mark, leading out in front where every forward should be. Played on, backed himself and slotted it through pretty easily.
And kicked it with meaning. The Blues, 3 goals in the first quarter. They've kicked 3 in the remainder of the game. Brown gets it back to White. White across his left shoulder. Kicks the ball to half forward. And that's a free kick against Carlton. It'll be taken by the St Kilda captain, Nathan Burke.
Classic example of prime objective not being the footy, Robbo.
Out wide, he finds Zilla. The Blues in the first quarter last week kicked 4 goals. In the remaining 3 quarters, they managed 5 to total 9. Tonight, they kicked 3 in the first term. They've kicked another 3 in the next 2 and a bit quarters to total 6. It really is a major concern for Carlton, kicking goals.
Robbo, in round 1 against the Bombers, 3 goals in the first quarter, Carlton, 5 only for the rest of the match. So
it's a bad trend, isn't it? Well, I think they were looking for big things from young Lance Whitnell, and to carry the forward line on your own at 19 years of age is just going to be a big ask. Burke gathers to Francis into the centre. Not a bad kick, actually. I thought he may have been looking for Harvey. At the back, Young. He's tackled well by Ratton, wasn't he? Grabbed him by the arm, so he couldn't do anything else but hold on to it, so he's penalised.
Yeah, it took him off balance, so he couldn't attempt to kick. The only thing he can do, he see the tackle of Brett Ratton, grabs him by the arm. Matthew Young can't kick because he's off balance, holding the ball.
Koutafidis took the kick from Ratton and then kicked the ball forward where the mark was taken by Whitnell. 7 goals the margin, 91 plays 49. Whitnell fancies his chances. Yet to kick a goal in this game. And goes back and thumps it long and hard. Good distance in the kick. Not the accuracy, though, required through from behind.
It's funny, Robbo, Bruce mentioned before that pattern of slackening off as the game goes on. That's something that opposition coaches pick up on, and it will be used. So no matter how well they start in future games, teams will always fancy their chances of coming back against them.
How about Robert Harvey? 32 possessions now. Tony Brown getting into the play. McLaren has the ball just behind the centre circle here at the MCG. Kicks the Saints very much into attack. Out in the direction there of Walton. He couldn't take it. Beaumont for the Blues. Hand pass out wide. Knocked away by Hamill into the path again of Beaumont. Beaumont goes towards half forward. Hooks the kick. Young advantaged by it. And Ratton, no matter what he could do, Matthew Young has taken a good mark at centre-half back for St Kilda.
Had Burke wide, may still go to him. Dars finds him. Good game again by the captain. Burke to Hall, strong mark, as Robbo said, what a physical presence he has. Kicks the ball down the line, wide but handsome this time. So the Saints are playing a good brand of footy late. Carr has been very impressive. He wants to take Christou on. Left foot, that's the best shot for goal he's had all night, won't quite make it. And Kilda, who has played really well tonight, takes the mark in the last line of defence. Kicks in the direction of Hamill, Backwell coming in. Hamill's disappointed, he said, why did you spoil me? Boundary throw-in. Little supporter, they're just checking how long he's got to go before he has to go to bed. Boundary throw-in, Saints in control, 13-13 to 6-14. We talked about their hard draw early in the night. I reckon they're back on track now. Zilla gets it from Hall.
Good kick.
To the centre. Bouncing ball, this could be lucky. Thompson, and he's got it. It's another one. Thompson's goal.
Set up by a terrific kick by Zilla.
Oh, it certainly was. He kicked it to the hot spot. That's all you can ask. It puts the defenders under maximum pressure when it's landing in that area, 10 to 20 metres out directly in front. Look, luck's a fortune. Right place at the right time. The ball bounced beautifully, and all he had to do was pick it up and kick without falling over, which he had a little bit of difficulty doing, but in the end he got his boot to the ball.
It was close, wasn't it?
Pretty relieved at the end, I think, too.
Well, Andrew Thompson, who was reasonably well held, I thought, throughout the game, but towards the last quarter and a bit has accumulated about 10 possessions to tally up now 20 against his name. More importantly, he's kicked 2 goals for St Kilda. Lowe has been quite sensational, but on this occasion Allen beats him to the tap, gets it to Hume. Hume towards the full forward area. Now the race is on. Silvani gets his foot to it. Young will go back, but the ball hits the behind post, so it will be thrown in the right forward pocket for the Blues. We've got 9 minutes left. Carlton still with just 6 goals on the scoreboard. You don't win football matches in today's environment. Look at that kick by Backwell. Registers are behind, but 6 goals is nowhere near good enough. And it really is a concern for the Blues hierarchy. Ozzie Jones looking on. warming the bench presently.
Interesting to be given a spell. You'd think with the game safely won, you might rest an experienced player and really give Aussie the chance to get a feel for the game, get a bit more of the ball and maybe get his touch back.
Young to Elliott. Elliott's handball to Pickett. Been a reliable player for a long time now. Kick to centre wing. Thompson and Koutafidis. Thompson, interesting, to Hall, to Mitchell. Well done though, cut off by Hamill. To Koutafidis' kick is a pretty good one. Gets to White. White's handball inboard is okay. Sets up Ratton. Ratton, what a good kick. He pops it up. Silvani would have to be a freak to take that. And Young gets it from low. And then with a pinpoint accuracy to Pickett. Pickett loves this situation. We can run through the centre and then delivers to Heatley, who measures the lead. Ball comes at the back. Big Barry Hall goes in. Well done though by Christou. Comes back though. Opportunity for Hayes. Hayes back. They've gone back a long, long way. McLaren fancies himself. 50 metres out. Kick goes to the pocket. And Sexton marks. Untidy footy actually all round there. Sexton's got it in the back pocket.
97 plays 51. The coach, plenty of concerns for David Parker. And short kick, not marked there by White. Thompson, Francis will kick a goal, won't he? It's just missed, has it?
That's unfortunate. I think they deserved a goal after that piece of play from Andrew Thompson. Really, he backed himself to spoil the bigger player. He did it beautifully, followed it up, gathered the ball, quick handball off to Tony Francis, who 9 times out of 10 you would have backed from that position.
Christou to kick it back for the Blues. 14-14 to 6-15. Umpire now calling for Christou to speed the play up. Goes long out towards the wing. Good mark by Lappin for behind Ryan. A little nudge out, but the umpire saw that as all clear. Lappin, who was one of the Blues goal kickers in this last quarter, kicks the ball towards left half forward. Now the race is on. Young gets back, tackled by Bradley, takes it over for a throw-in. 2 kicks from Carlton's goal. Left half forward. Another good crowd for Friday night football. Nearly 44,000 fans here, braving a chilly night at the Melbourne Cricket Ground. Brown, still Fraser Brown. He's going to get a free kick by the look of it.
For holding, Robbo.
And the advantage with the Blues. Koutafidis kick towards full forward. Silvani, a little bit too strong there for young Elliott. And he's marked right in front, only 25 metres from goal.
Just good use of the body. Didn't appear to have the best position there, but a little bit too strong on that occasion for Tim Elliott, who hasn't looked comfortable at fullback all night.
Silvani goes for goal, and he's popped it through for his third. He's kicked 3 goals, but 4 behinds against his name as well. Could quite easily have been 7 goals.
It could have been. I mean, look, at the end of the day, it's been a serviceable night from Sauce, but I'm sure he would have liked a much greater output. He'd love to see 6 or 7 goals next to his name. He's had plenty of opportunities, just hasn't quite worked for him, but that's a great mark, 101. He's very good with the body and finished it off with a goal, so he's now got 3 to his name, and that's a reasonable night's performance.
It has been interesting assessing his game. The critical stage in the third quarter where he needed a bit of luck, needed to convert, he couldn't. But at the end of the day, you know, he's kicked 3-4 and he's done pretty well. But the bird has flown, hasn't it? As Hayes has kicked wide, it's going to come off, I think. McLaren's had a lot of it in the last quarter. Harvey's had so much all night, pushing very wide. Trianides, Nelson over the top. Koutafidis, probably his best game for a while. To Franchina in trouble now.
Yep. Tried to evade a couple of tackles, Bruce, and once he does that, if somebody is good enough to lay a tackle, then he must kick it or handball it successfully, and in that case the ball just spilled out.
Trianides to fall forward, plenty of Blue players up, goes through Carr's legs, chance for Walton. Christou puts a tackle on him, ball up. 14 goals to 7. It's a similar scoreline to what the Bombers and the Cats have done to Carlton this year. France is sitting out. They scored 16-9 each of them, and tonight it's 14-7. Pretty late in this last quarter, so they're a bit away, the Blues, from being a real contender at the moment. Remember how promisingly they finished last season off. McKay, still McKay. Thompson, who's been very good after half-time, and again a ball up. 98-57.
Thompson had a big third quarter, Bruce. 7 kicks and 3 hand passes.
And that was the quarter the Saints made their big move,
Yeah,
wasn't
they created a big gap between the two teams. Allen trying to do the ruck work up against Barry Hall. Christou to Brown, in turn to Hamill. Still just racing outside his defensive 50 now. Oh, strong mark. The big bucket hands of Stewie Lowe. By gee, it disappears, doesn't it, that football? Stuart Lowe kicks the ball into the centre of the ground. Good mark taken by Walton. Very much a goal kicker. He's kicked 3, tackled, ball spills to Sexton. Sexton has a look
Straight
and then
back
has to
to
kick
Stewart.
back towards a nest of St Kilda players at the base of the Packers. Lappin tries to play it to his own advantage, didn't quite succeed, and it will be thrown in on centre wing. And Whitnall, a high leaper, big punch by Max Hudson. Good one too. Lappin to run onto it, no, Thompson to take it over. 41 points the margin. Certainly the intensity looks as though it's gone out of the game. Deep, very deep. Only 5 minutes left in this match. It will be a St Kilda victory, their 3rd for the season. And here's Robert Harvey again. Possession number 35. Kicks towards full forward, gathered by McLaren. Kick smothered off the boot. Boundary throw in.
Franchina doing that job.
Good smother, good smother. McLaren was trying to do the right thing. He was going to hook the ball back into the centre. And that's a good way of, good example for kids how to smother the ball. Keep the eyes on the ball, keep the head down. Don't worry about turning the head away.
Hall and Koutafidis. Hall lays it down in Thompson's direction. Kouta goes in and forces to the line. Boundary throw in.
27 possessions for Anthony Koutafidis in what we all consider to probably be his best game so far this year.
And he's giving away a bit of weight and height to both Barry Hall and Lowe. Gee, Hall too easily to Thompson. Thompson sprayed that one, misses a lot. Interesting to see how Tim Watson assesses this performance from St Kilda's point of view. They're going to have a good win. They've been wasteful at times. They struggled in the first half. They had a great patch in the 3rd quarter. They finished it off pretty well. Brown gets the ball outside the defensive 50. Burke just to the space. Hall couldn't quite backward. Just puts it on his boot in a hurry. White in the centre, held his ground, gets a free kick against Zilla. White will want to get it on in a hurry. He uses Lappin. Lappin out wide. They need to clean possession. Bradley missed it. Hudson ducks. Handball out wide was good to Peckett. Peckett to Burke. They've got some space here. The captain can go on. Burke quickly onto the boot to Mitchell in the pocket. He's got him. Mitchell wants to go on, does he? No, he's going to come back. He's about 45 metres from goal. Tucked up against the pocket. Can't really score from there, you wouldn't think. Robbo thinks he might have a chance. He's going to go for it. Kicked 4 against the Blues the first time they played them last year in round 5. Pops it up to the goal square. Allen unopposed. Takes the mark. Had his colours lower tonight. Whitnall his target. White there. Ryan. Lappin. Back to White. White, a little kick. Not going far. Hume. He missed a very important goal in this last quarter. Back to Brown.
Well, he did that reasonably well, Darren Hume, because there was no one to give the ball to. Same in similar circumstances there, Brett Ratton. Brown trying to... Oh, that's a throw. And the free kick, well, there's not much you can say about that, Fraser. Unfortunately, when you flick the ball in the air like that, John.
Once he lifts the ball like that, I mean, you can almost see this.
He did it with a clenched fist.
It looks as though his fist is clenched, yes. But,
Short kick by Burke, marked by Hall. Lenny Hayes to go from outside 50. Good kick right to the line. Ball spills to the back and through for a behind.
But just the same, Robbo, even though the fist is clenched, if he lifts the ball like that, it tends to be construed more as a scoop or a push than as a hit. It's hard.
I think he might have been harshly done by there. It looked like he made a good swing and hit contact with the bottom half of the ball, which lifted it up.
Well, that's probably
what academic, though.
That's what he was dirty on, I guess. No. He knew that his endeavours were all legal from his point of view.
It was the end of a poor piece of play too. That's a good hit. Oh,
yeah.
So what is it, John?
Yeah. Oh, look, I mean, half the people will say that's a scoop, half will say it's a hit. As Jason says, I really don't think there's a clear answer one way or the other. It's just part of the game.
Hamill out wide to White. White goes in towards the half-forward area, and Silvani just got rid of Elliott there and has marked safely on his chest. And you would think that Stephen Silvani would get the distance from here and maybe post his 4th goal.
In the end, it turned out all right. Sauce led up, he led back, and Tim Elliott just got totally lost. When he turned around, Sauce had gone.
Silvani nearly kicked it to his immediate opponent there. Scores are behind. 3 goals, 5 against his name. And it really has been a sorry tale as far as accuracy in shooting for goal is concerned for Carlton.
Young, 7-16 to 14-15. Young wide, and Lowe's had a big one. He's had a big match.
9 marks now.
Elliott, who is going to be a very good player for a long time for the Saints. To Hayes, who was their #1 draft pick, taken 11th overall. Just turns his man inside out, delivers to centre-half forward Heatley. He's been pretty well held tonight. Beaumont misses Bradley. Back to Hayes. Well done, the kid, but smothered in the end, probably fortuitously by the Blues. Colpert, who hasn't been able to have an impact, back to Beaumont. Beaumont's high ball to centre wing. Lowe was just manhandled dreadfully. Must get the free kick. I guess in the end, when you've got Stewie to confront, you've almost got to be illegal to have an even money chance, don't you?
It is very frustrating for the Carlton forwards because he's virtually just playing a kick behind play, and the ball's kicked high in the air. He's just sitting back, eating those up, and the smaller opponent virtually has no chance.
St Kilda just soaking up the clock now.
Why do this?
When you mentioned about Elliott, this is a bit of a nonsense thing there, a mile in front. When you spoke about Elliott, Bruce, I think the most important thing, they're getting away with him learning the caper and playing pretty well, with Everett still to come back into the side. And he's going to be a tremendous backstop through sheer experience of playing in a responsible position. Peckett with the football. He's on centre wing. His handball is chopped off by Hamill. Oh, get those big arms of Stuart Lowe wrapped around you, then you're going absolutely nowhere.
Be interested to see what Tim Watson says about the couple of players that kicked it backwards and wasted a bit of time. I mean, I've got no problem with holding on to possession in a tight one like we saw the Kangaroos do the other night, but I can't see what that possibly is going to achieve other than a few easy possessions for the players.
It's just about it. Harvey to Hayes. Had a good little patch late. That's it. 41 points for the Saints. They seem to be back on track. The Blues have struck some trouble, haven't they? After winning 3 of their first 4, they've come back to the field, and they are going to have a searching month in front of him. Stephen Silvani, forever the competitor. He's disappointed. He kicked 3-5, played his heart out. Wasn't his night. It was Robert Harvey's night. He was our newsmaker tonight. Mark Doran will make a beeline for Harvey. Dipper will be out there. But in the end, it was the Saints all the way by 41 points. So, Mark, you're with the newsmaker. What a game he's had.
Yeah, absolutely, Bruce. He's just actually going to thank Craig Bradley, who played at him all night, and he had a go, but Harv's 36 touches.
Yeah, we really needed it. We're 2 and 3. You lose this one, you're up against it. So, our third quarter's been our worst quarter, so we really put an emphasis on that tonight, and that really came through for us.
We spoke to you this week about a new role at St Kilda, playing not in the centre square all the time, giving some other players a go, but today Tim went with you for the whole way. Did you ask for that?
No, I didn't ask that. I think it just go how the game's flowing, so off and on back, sort of down the back, but today we just stayed in the midfield most of the night.
At half-time it was probably a mistake-filled match on both sides. St Kilda was able to turn that around in the second half and probably go on from here.
Yeah, we felt we were playing pretty good footy in the first half, we just couldn't convert, so we were pretty confident, and there's a good depth around the place at the moment, so we're looking forward to the rest of the year.
And there's another bloke who hasn't been in the centre much, Nathan Burke, but gee, does he give you a bit in the back pocket nowadays?
It's a luxury to have a bloke like that down back, and it just goes to show that we've got some good depth down the club.
Yeah, well done, Haas. Thanks for that.
Thanks, mate.
Shane Wakeland, we just noticed, is in the huddle. He's come back from the hospital. That's a terrific thing for the Saints. I think Dipper's got Tim Watson.
I certainly have, Bruce. Tim, how do you assess that game? A magnificent win by the boys.
Yeah, look, I thought they were very good tonight. We've been concentrating on some things throughout the course of the week, and obviously in the first 5 games we've been really pummeled in that third term, and I just thought the way that they just went about that third term of football, and they really grounded out. We scored goals as well, but it was really good and pleasing to see some of our younger players step up tonight in a tight game too.
And those three names again, Burke, Lowe and Harvey, fantastic effort once again.
Yeah, look, Stu was excellent. We were sort of one big fella down, so he had to get into the ruck, and Harves and Berkey, very good players.
Well, great win by the Saints, Tim, and well done, mate.
Thanks, mate.
Thanks, Dipper. Well done with Tim Watson. We're going to follow them in. Interesting about the third quarter. Brisbane outscored them 3-0. Melbourne outscored them 7-2. Adelaide outscored them 6-3. We then went to round 4. The Bulldogs, well, they had a pretty good third quarter actually against the Bulldogs. It was about even. It was actually 6-4 in their favour. But the Kangaroos 6-1. So I'm sure that Tim Watson had plenty of ammunition to fire at them tonight at half-time.
It certainly did. We spoke about patterns of play a little bit earlier on, and great to see Timmy running in to share this win with the boys.
Here they go. Well done to the Saints.